Hey, good morning, everyone. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay. Looks like we are waiting on a couple of more people.
James, are all the class recordings on? Have you uploaded them on
Yes, I
Microsoft
did
Teams?
upload them on YouTube, and I'm going to send them to you after this class
Okay, thank you.
for the yesterday's class.
Okay, because I was checking on Microsoft Teams and under the files, there's only the interview. I don't see the class
Yeah.
recordings.
So I'm
Okay.
struggling with Teams right now. I think I've used it in my office for small recordings, like 15-20 minutes. And when I'm trying to put this entire class, like for 3 hours long, it breaks. It just doesn't work. Like sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. I tried like 7 or 8 times. So I think I'm thinking that I can probably leave off all the class recordings in YouTube, as it's easier. You can use YouTube functionality and all. So I'm thinking to leave them off on YouTube and just send you a link. I'll create a Excel sheet, but for each class there will be a link name, and you just have to click on that link and it will work for you.
Okay, thank you.
It will be
And
available.
would there be interview classes too in there?
Interview classes is also on Microsoft Teams right now, both for last week and this week. But I think I'll have to pull them off and put it in YouTube now to put everything in one place. So we'll use Teams. Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
So in Teams, we'll do all the documents, all the collaboration, all the communication. There will be no emails after today's class. I really want you guys to watch on Teams, all the messages and everything. And all the recordings will be on YouTube. So those two platforms we are going to use. And classes will always be on Zoom, guys. So I'm not migrating to Zoom classes for Teams right now, as I don't know. Meetings have been working really well in my offices for like 30-40 minutes, like an hour-long meeting. I have not had like 4 hours long meeting on Teams in my office. So I just don't know how it's going to play out. So I'm a little hesitant to move it to Teams right now, but I think that this is the plan. Zoom for classes, Teams for collaboration and documentation.
I think we were doing it on Teams. Me, Shrey, and Abdul. We were using Teams, and it was for good 2 hours.
Was it good for 2 to 3 hours? Did you see any challenges in between, like voices going in and out or anything like that?
No. Initially, yes. But for Excel, me and I think Abdul were using Google, for Excel sheets.
Oh, okay.
So
there is a way I can show you guys. Let me see if Hassan has joined or not. Let me message him. I think
Hassan was there. I saw him earlier. I think he dropped the call.
He dropped the call. I don't see him.
He was there with me. He joined at the same time I joined, so we both were together.
I don't see Abdul and I don't see Hassan. Shay, are you still having difficulties to hear me? Oh, sorry. Hassan said he's having difficulty hearing me. So he's going to, I think, probably log back in. Yes, I think I can see. And I did see Abdul, I think Abdul's message. Okay, I think we can probably get started. Just a recap again, guys. Zoom will be for our classes. I want to make sure you guys are not confused. Zoom will be for our classes every weekend at 10 a.m. Teams is what we're using for collaboration, documentation, and all those purposes. And I'll be sending you YouTube links for every class after the class gets over, like I was doing before. All right, so before I move forward, any questions from yesterday's class? Oh, I'll take silence as no. I did send out the BRD requirements checklist that you guys were requesting yesterday, like definitions of them and examples of them. I think if you check your Teams, it is attached in that is named as BRD checklist definitions. So BRD requirements definition. So just look at that PowerPoint, and I hope that will help you remember what is BRD and what kind of information goes in that. I think literally that slide is what you need to ratify in a way where it will be in your own words. But I think that slide at least has 3 or 4 good interview questions. The PowerPoint one. And let me just share that with you so that you know what I'm talking about. So this is the one that I created yesterday from your request. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Yes, that's perfect.
Yep. So we have this 18 points that we discussed, right? And for each point, I have added a definition and some examples. And I believe this should do for you. Even if you forget what is BRD during your interview or after the classes are done, I think you should to come back to this one, review this, and it will open up your mind to start asking questions and all those things. Oh,
So we're going to get a copy of this?
I already sent it out. Yeah, last night.
Okay, maybe I'll check. Okay.
I'm super aggressive and super quick on a lot of things. If I'm running behind, I really have genuine things to back that up. But if there is a request, I make sure to get back to you guys as soon as possible.
So James, when you send data through Teams, it's really hard to download.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we were downloading the Excel file, and it took me like a few seconds in the email, and it took a long time from Teams.
So you will the purpose of Teams if you're downloading the files. The easier way for you, let me go to Teams. There is always an option when you go to files.
Yeah.
So the reason you put documents in Teams is because you want to make sure that people are able to collaborate on the document, right? It's not to download and work on the individual spreadsheet or individual document. So the way you do that is, you see, I'm in files right now. I click on these three dots. At the bottom, it gives me an option for more, or on the top, you see open in SharePoint. If I click on more, it will give me some more options. Yeah, you see this open in SharePoint. When you click on this, it will open the document in SharePoint. And when you click on it, you can actually edit these things in browser directly if you want to make any edits. So it's more like Google Drive. When you make change, your entire team will be able to see that change in real time. You have, whether you have PowerPoint, whether you have BRD, whether you have Word document, everything will be edited in real time, like in Google Drive.
Yeah, but since we're doing our own assignments, so I didn't want to like edit that. So
open in browser. So so this is, I want to be honest, right, Shrey? There will be no perfect tool, and I'm trying to limit the number of interactions we're going to have with different tools, right? So I'm trying to keep one place where you guys can look everything if possible. And just for documents now, if you wanted to send an email, I don't mind, but you guys will be lost to track those documents. This is the hub now. I want to make sure that we.
In terms of,
Sorry. Did someone say something? All right. So again, it's your call. How you guys want it. I don't mind sending you guys in an email if you want to, but I think this might be a better approach for you.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the last week's assignment is also going to be posted over here. Do we have to do it individually or as a group?
I have created a different channel now. I was working on this last night, and
Okay.
let me show you. So I've created a specific group for you all, where I have one for class recording, one for interview preparation, one for assignments or labs. These are different channels, right?
Okay.
I want to make our communications extremely clear on what we're discussing and where we're discussing. Generally, is for any kind of questions that you have. Now, going forward, whenever you want to discuss anything about assignments or labs, it will be all here in assignments. In assignments itself, we'll have a file option. You can put your assignments here, so the entire class is able to view your assignments and give you your feedback. Anybody can access it from here. So all your assignments will live here. You can probably put it with your name if you want to. And please don't feel like that I don't want to share my assignments with anyone else. Otherwise, other person will get a benefit. That's not how it works. We believe in taking feedback. And even though someone has not done the assignments, for that person to review the assignments and give a feedback itself is a big thing, right? Our goal is to make sure we collect more and more feedback on our assignments from everyone and anyone in the class on how they feel. If they are reading your BRD, how they feel, how good of a job you have done, right? I can just give you one perspective, but other people can bring in more perspective. So again, choice is yours. If you guys feel comfortable, put your assignments and labs here, and in real time, people can give you feedback. If you want me to send these things in an email, I'm fine with that as well. Just let me know, whatever works for you guys. Go ahead, Samir.
Are we going to do this part that the other team did and vice versa so that we get a hang of it like both ways that way?
So that was the plan last week. That's
Okay.
the reason we divided the exercise. So you guys can divide your workload, and one team can take off BRD and one team can take off the, I forgot the part. user journey and the
User journey.
process, right? So the goal was that we have these documents here and you all can look back at it. And it's a teamwork, right? It's not one person, it's a team's work. And that's why I created this channel only for assignments. So all my assignments, I'll be listing it out here. I will also copy my assignments that I've given in the email and put it here. So when you go back and you check all the assignments is in one tab here. You don't have to go back and forth in the email. So I'm trying to cut off emails now, no email anymore. And we have a dedicated channels to discuss about focused discussions. Right?
Got it.
In class recordings, I'm going to put a table here. I've not done that, but I'm going to put a table here. I'll put the dates, class number, class, what was discussed in the class, and a YouTube link in that. So all you have to do is, whenever you want to go to class recording, open that table, click on that link, and you'll be able to find it.
Suggestion.
Go ahead, Hassan.
So since we're going to be working as a BA and we're going to be working with the team, I think this is the best thing what you just create for us, class. So anybody can see, assign,
This is what we do.
pre-take. Yeah. This will be better than we sending separate email to each and everybody. I don't know, it's just my opinion.
So I can tell you, it's been like 2.5 years. I've worked for 3 different companies. We had so many communication problems in last 2.5 years. After that, there was one brave guy who suggested to have these different channels in Teams and use it that way, and use it like Teams as opposed to using it like WhatsApp, right? And this has helped so much our team. So this suggestion had come after like 2.5 years of struggle in reality in our company. So this works really, really well. I have started seeing, at least for my company where I'm working right now, our communication time that we were spending, it has reduced. We were spending like 2 to 3 hours of meetings every day, time of 2 to 3 hours every day in a meeting. Now that has reduced to only 1 hour because everyone is well aligned on where we are and what we are doing. So with that being said, again, Shrey, if you feel you want to handle this differently, let me know. I don't mind sending you an email, but I believe this might be a better approach, but I'm open for the suggestion. So with that being said, let's go to the actual discussion of Agile. Okay, before I move forward, can someone give me a couple of advantages of Agile? We discussed this at a very, very high level. We just scratched the surface, but I want to make sure that someone is in a position to give me some advantages for Agile.
Less time consuming.
Yeah.
Less time consuming, okay. What's next?
I
Teamwork.
think cost effective.
Cost effective, less time consuming. Cost effective, it can be cost effective in a way because you will get more feedback. Okay, that's fine.
Streamlined.
It's streamlined, okay.
One thing, like for waterfall, we can develop a project in 1 year. This we can develop in 3 months, and it gives us more experience, to work with the tool. And in 1 year, we'll be able to create 3 or 4 projects, work on 3 or 4 projects. So it's more experience in Agile.
Okay, so I think something what you mentioned there was speed to market.
Yes. So our product can go in the market faster versus waterfall.
Cost effective and time saver, right? What else?
If you don't mind, can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
This is from one of a previous class that you had mentioned that Chase a few years back had come up with a mobile app for depositing checks.
Mm-hmm.
So my question would be, did they use Agile at that time? Because they were the first companies that came out with that, versus Bank of America, Wells Fargo.
No. So just because they delivered just because they created the product first doesn't mean that they have done Agile, right? Mm-hmm. We don't know how long they would have taken to develop this product. But my guess is, I think just for everyone's knowledge, the example that Samrit is talking about is, if you guys remember, 5 or 6 years ago, we did not have mobile check deposit. Chase was the first one who brought this idea, and after that, Bank of America and other banks, big banks, started following that. But it took them about 1.5 to 2 years to even build that functionality. So during that time, Chase had acquired a big market share because a lot of customers did not want to go to the bank. So those customers moved to Chase and they become long-term customers for Chase after that. So question that she's asking here is, hey, when Chase went first with this product, did they do Agile or did they do waterfall? We are all speculating right now, right? I've not worked on that project for Chase. So even if I worked for Chase, I would not know what methodology has been used for that specific project, right? This is my guess. This is what would have happened. Chase is an extremely IT-oriented company, and they believe in innovations and advancement. So 99% chances is that they have worked in Agile. But another thing over there is that not just Agile, they have integrated third party's product. This is some third-party product that offers that, hey, you can deposit check through remote option, not go to the branch. And they would have just considered that vendor and put out this functionality. At the end, they might have built it because people are using it. They don't want to pay fees on it. They might have built this functionality on top of it. But in the beginning, this is what they would have gone with. Or I can tell you this would have been the path, right? So whenever this is such a sensitive thing. You get so many fake checks. You get so many checks where it's very hard for you to define, should I approve this check or not, whether it's a legitimate or not, whether someone has the signature behind the check or not, right? All those things. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of regulations in place. Once you put the check, it takes about 2 to 3 business days to get deposited in your bank account. There will be overdraft fee. What amount you want to do online, right? So what are the business rules here? So business rules would be that, hey, anybody who wants to deposit check online, they must take front picture for the check and the back picture for the check. And back picture must be signed, right? Now, this is the requirement. How you make it happen, we'll talk about it in a minute. It must be signed so that check gets deposited. The moment check gets deposited, whether check is cleared or not, money will be available instantly in the bank account. Whether check is cleared or not, it doesn't matter because it's an online deposit. That's another business rule. One more business rule would be that we will take checks only up to $500, and we are going to offer this functionality when we go live to only first 500 or 1,000 customers in a specific city. Based on their IP address, if they're from Dallas, then only they will be able to see this particular option. Otherwise, they will not see this option in their mobile application. Can someone tell me why would I do this?
To test.
To test. Because if something goes wrong, my 100 million customers will be affected by this. Right? So I have to have a plan to roll this out in phases. I would first do Dallas, then I'll do Dallas, Houston, and San Antonio. Then I'll do entire Texas if I feel comfortable. Because when I do this 3 rounds, it will give me an idea how many problems I have in this process. Right? Process will not just be from user's perspective. Process will be from 3 different perspectives here. First is the customer. Second is the teller who is receiving this information on his or her end. And third one is the bank from which the amount is going to get deposited. So you want to see how these 3 players are working together when you are putting this remote functionality, and there is absolutely seamless process in between this, because you cannot tell customer, hey, there was a mistake and we lost your $2,000. Because if you have deposited money in advance for $2,000 and after that check gets failed for some reason or check gets bounced, who's going to pay that money? That person doesn't have that money in his account anymore, right? So it may be that, hey, you just want to do, instead of $2,000, you just make $200 available instantly, and remaining $1,800 will be available only after the check gets deposited. There are so many business rules. Whatever I've talked so far, these are all business rules, right? And to convert these business rules into actual technology, when someone says that I want to make sure that we have the front of the check and the back of the check picture, no matter what, you see, they have literally, when you open the camera has been manipulated where it shows you where it captures your specific signature at certain point, if you've done this before, right? When you use your phone like this, yes, it tells you where exactly the image should be for signature. Why? Because there is a machine learning in that. It is reading for a signature. Likewise, when you're taking the front of the picture, it aligns the entire check, and there is a certain box. That box will be for the amount. So they have this technology built to satisfy these business requirements. Make sense?
Yes.
So again, there is a lot of work, And my guess is that there would be some vendor product and they would have built this on their own, or they would have probably bought that vendor product after that, just to trump the market. Because if they don't buy the vendor product, what's going to happen? Bank of America and Wells Fargo, I'm a vendor. Why would I just stick to Chase? I also want to go to Bank of America and Wells Fargo. And if I bought out that product now, Wells Fargo and Bank of America will struggle until some other vendor is going to sell this product, or they have to build this on their own. It's a business strategy, right? Cool. So to answer your question, I think I went off the track, but we don't know the answer. But I hope this explanation helps you understand what kind of strategy they might have used.
Yes, thank you.
Cool. Any other advantage? You guys are forgetting one more thing that we discussed yesterday.
Reduce risk.
Reduce what?
Risk.
Risk. Yes.
You can predict more clear picture
Reduce risk.
when you connect with the whole team.
Yep. Flexibility. Change requests are easy. Change requests are easy because we can, if there is anything that goes wrong, we need to have a release. We're going to put something in market every 2 or 4 weeks, right? So you can always go back and fix things. So flexibility. Change requests are easy to manage. What's next? One more
Intuitive, user-friendly.
User-friendly is not an advantage. User-friendly is more of a feature, right? It's not something that Agile offers. It's something software offers. It's iterative. That's a good one. Iterative or sprint-based approach, as opposed to waterfall, which is phased approach. Sprint-based approach. And we're going to understand this word sprint in detail. Can you guys please mute yourself? I think there's a lot of noise coming in. Okay. And sorry, I meant if you're not speaking, please mute yourself. So the next one, there is one more thing that is pending in advantage. There is one more thing. Less documentation and more communication. Remember, we talked about this yesterday in our example, a very silly example, to a point where it was really stupid, but I think it serves the purpose for the class. I think this is a good list. If someone tells you, why would you choose Agile over Waterfall, or why should we choose Agile? Just general question. They could compare Agile or Waterfall, or they could say, what is Agile? What does Agile bring it to the table? This is what you should lean on. This is your answer.
Why is it less documentation?
We'll cover that, because we don't create BRDs, we don't create project charter, we don't create FRDs. We just create user stories. So the entire documentation time that you had for 3 months in Waterfall, like each phase is for 2 to 3 months, right? The entire phase has been taken out now because you don't need that time anymore. We'll cover that in detail right now. So for now, these are the good things that Agile brings in. Let's talk about the bad things that Agile brings in.
You cannot launch the whole product. It goes in phases. Versus Waterfall, you can just, the whole product is ready to be launched. Maybe.
Yeah. So in Agile world, they call it as MVP, minimal viable product. Minimal. Actually, this is more of a strength when you say speed to market. So what we just defined, Savneet, that's more of a positive point, okay, as opposed to negative point. But it could be taken that, hey, when you have a big product to launch, you don't really have a product that customers can use to the fullest extent possible, right? That could be a disadvantage. But in my mind, if you're showing this as the advantage, we should not show that as a disadvantage for now.
I'm sure there is something that, a product with, if it doesn't, if the customer is not given all the functionalities,
yep.
I mean,
so limited,
he or she will have a hard time using it. So
limited functionality available in the beginning of the launch. I think this is what we can say.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. What's next? What's next?
It's too time constrained. So if the team doesn't work together, then everything, all the responsibility falls on one person.
Time constraint and
Because as you had mentioned yesterday, that like what we get
No.
time for 3 months, here we just have to do it in 2 weeks, like.
There is another way to define this. In interview, we should not say time constraint, but I'll let you know what that word is. But I'll just put it as time constraint for now. There was one big thing that we learned yesterday when we were working in Agile. I'm waiting for that point.
I don't know that point, but I think based on, I'm just taking our assignment as a example. So if communication fails between teams, then that can cause a big block.
Disaster. Yes, it
Yeah,
can
yeah.
cause disaster. Yes. So it needs to be, how to put this down? Fatal communication.
Collaborative.
Sorry?
I mean, like we can say collaborative. Lack of collaborative.
Yeah, I'm trying to write this down because this is not in the book. So let me say this in a different way. Fatal communication errors doesn't sound right. It's more of when someone one communication breakdown can delay the entire project. I'm just putting in layman terms right now. We're going to define this, refine this language here. But I think this is what you are trying to say. Any communication breakdown that can happen that can delay the entire project.
So based on that, what we had said earlier, if there is, like you explained yesterday, in waterfall, if the team is not doing the work, we are supposed to take charge and do it. Same thing happens in this. And this is more going to be more stress because this is the short span and one person doing the whole thing, it's very stressful.
I mean, we're getting paid for that.
Yeah, but I mean, there are certain times that even you as a person can get stuck, you need a feedback team.
Do we have Abdul on the call or? Hey, Abdul, can you hear us? I don't see him on the call yet. Okay.
I think he's not in the.
A is one thing, but I believe in perfection. You want the product to be perfect.
This is one of the biggest disadvantage of Agile. You will never get a perfect product in Agile.
Even if you get the feedback from your team?
Still, products are never perfect in Agile. It's close to perfect, but it's never perfect.
So what is the reason behind it? Why it's not perfect? Because we are doing in steps, little baby steps. That is the reason, or what?
It's because we are running. Okay, so let me give you a very again a silly example, but you'll probably remember this forever if you remember this example. If I tell you there are two walls when you're walking, okay, there are two walls. I want you to notice everything on those two walls. Okay, and I'll give you two options. I'll first give you 5 minutes, and you have to walk at your own convenience and look at around on all the walls and find out what is on the wall. And second is I'm telling you, Ray, you just have 30 seconds. You got to finish this runway and tell me everything that is on this wall. Which one would you think would have more details and would be able to capture every single information on that?
The first one, when you're walking slow.
Yes, right. Because naturally you tend to pause at things, look at things properly, and then identify things, right? You have time to react. In Agile, there is no time to react, right? And the essence is there are give and takes. If we take that time, then we are not going to get more feedback in time because customers are not going to use the product in time. So there are always pros and cons of each the approach, right? Waterfall versus Agile. So companies have made up their mind that, hey, it's okay to go live with 95% ready product as opposed to going with the 100% ready product because it takes humongous effort to bring that or to push that 95% to 100%. If you had been a really good student in your school, I was never a good student, but if you had been a really good student in your school, you would understand the difference between scoring 95 And from 95, if you want to score to 99, it takes so much extra effort, right? Same thing happens here. Do you want to wait and invest more effort in this product before your product is being approved by the customers? So I would go small first, and as people will start using my product, I will iteratively put more information in the production environment and bring that product to a closure where it is close to 100%. But in IT, in reality, no product is 100% perfect. 99.99% product can be perfect, but there will always be one error, including Microsoft Teams, Microsoft Words, Excel, whatever you want to say, right? Every product has a bug. There is no product in the world which is bug free. So products are never perfect, but they're close to perfect.
But in real life, like situations, does the team get to test the product before the launch or no? We don't get to do.
They do test. Okay. Because at the end of the day, customers are not going to worry about whether you use Agile or Waterfall, right? They want a good product, right? And what that good product is, that's what a product owner defines. And today, what we're going to study, a lot of things that we're going to study today will be for product owner role. Because in Agile world, 90% you will not have a business analyst. You will have a product owner.
Okay.
Okay. In Waterfall, you have a business analyst, plays a heavy role. We do not have a product owner in Waterfall. But in Agile world, we have a product owner. There may be a business analyst in your team, but we'll talk about that, what that role bifurcation would be for them. We have one more thing that I'm still looking for. We were also focused in our own work that we did not know what other people are doing.
Yes, yesterday examples. Yeah, perfect.
So
there are chances you missed the steps.
Yes,
we missed a lot of steps yesterday.
No time to think or
coordinate with other team. I mean,
yeah, no time to coordinate. Coordination. We are collaboration. Collaboration is the essence of Agile. So we cannot say that there is no time to collaborate, but we are collaborating only for our own work. We're not collaborating for everyone else's work. So that's the line, right? So I'm trying to write this in a better way where, and again, guys, these things are not in the book. We're just trying to come up with something so that we remember this forever. So no time to overview or get familiarity with other team members' work. Cool. I think this does sound good to me. If you say this in the interview, I think these are extremely, extremely genuine answers. Okay, extremely genuine answers. And more collaboration. You can put here less documentation is the advantage. And this advantage is only for people who have worked previously in Waterfall. They have not changed their mindset. They will constantly point it out that, hey, you have not done enough and you have not given me a proper documentation on this. Every day, they will make you realize this. So this is not one of the disadvantages for Agile. They might pursue this as a disadvantage because Agile doesn't have documentation, and that is for a valid reason. And there are ways to fight that battle. We are going to cover that in the class when people try to troll you down. I've been working in Agile for the last 7 years now, or probably 8 years. There has not been a single day where people have not blamed me for not creating documents.
I have a question. So isn't that like depends on the situation? Less documentation could be an advantage too, right?
So that's right. More collaboration, communication is what Agile relies on, and it depends on situation. You're right, but this is pursued as disadvantage only for a specific audience, which is developer and quality analyst. They do. This is a big disadvantage because they feel they cannot function well because they cannot communicate. Right? So if you want to go and talk about waterfalls, advantages and disadvantages, this is, you just put this copy here. These are advantages and these are disadvantages. Does it make sense?
Waterfall, there is a lot of documentation.
Yes, so extensive documentation. Time to
No,
get
no, this is not true.
positive note, right? Time to get familiar.
Yeah. And products are perfect in waterfall.
That's not perfect. You can assume, but it's still not perfect. I've worked in waterfall also a lot. There are like 1,000 things that can go wrong when you're delivering a product. So I can tell you, but products are near perfection, I can say.
And will your team back you up if you know, like you feel the project is perfect and they are like, no, it is not. No, it's not. Will they back you up? Okay, I'll just throw you.
Just a second. I'm just trying to clean this up. Less communication and rely on documentation approval.
So why less communication is an advantage if it's not a disadvantage?
Less communication, Agile or waterfall?
Waterfall. Why is it an advantage?
Just a minute. Full functionality will be available for users on day one of the product launch. Okay. Which point you were talking about, Shrey? This one?
Less communication.
And rely on documentation approval. I'm saying less communication because entire team is not involved. When you are in requirement gathering phase, you are just talking with technical lead and your business stakeholder. That's it. Whereas in Agile, from day one, you're talking to every single team member, every single developer who is working in the team, every single quality analyst, Scrum Master, everyone is involved in that. But in Waterfall, you don't do that because you're going to take away their time. So once you get the approval, then you bring them up to the speed on what the documentation is about, and then they start collaborating. Then they give their inputs. That is how Waterfall works. So I can tell you which product works really well with Waterfall and which product works well with the Agile. You cannot, if you're working on something really new, which does not exist in market, and if it has a lot of regulations around it, for example, healthcare products, right? When the Obamacare came in, Obamacare, that would never, for Obamacare would never work in Agile environment because it is nobody had clarity on it, what the Obamacare is first of all. After that, every single insurance provider, hospital or clinic, or there is one more thing, insurance provider, clinics, and CVS or Walgreens, pharmacy. Those three departments have to communicate every time back and forth, right? So all the things that you do needs to work for these three different providers, three different type of users, pharmacist and hospitals or clinics. And the second one, the third one was insurance provider. So whenever you work, whenever your audience is external as in you're going to work with the third-party tools or your third-party clients. If you're staying in one house, if there is some problem, right? You can just say, hey, can you do this for me? He will, because you have a relationship with that person, a really good relationship, that person is going to listen to you and you have trust built in, right? So you tend to do things with less approvals because you trust that person. But let's say if it is two different houses and two different families, right? If you tell that person to do something, that person is not going to do it easily. Why? Because there's a lack of trust. You guys don't stay in the same house. So likewise, every company has to protect their own rights. If something goes wrong, they will be sued for millions of dollars. So they have to protect their rights. So when they want to protect their rights, they want to get everything in writing. They want to get everything approved from the client first before they build, because they should not come back and say, hey, we did not ask for this. Nobody remembers what we discussed in the class, right? If I don't send you class notes, are you going to remember what we discussed in the class? No, right? But if we have a fair understanding between each other, and let's say if it's just you and me in the class and no one else, right? Just two people, the class will be extremely more effective in certain ways, right? So there is always that opportunity when you're working with third-party tools, or when you're working on something first time like Obamacare or something like that, you tend to go with waterfall approach because you cannot go wrong on those things. Another example would be for payment. When you're working on the payment, it's good to go with Agile if you have to, but you cannot escape documentation for payments. It's extremely sensitive. If something goes wrong, your entire company is going to get bankrupt, right? So there are products that suits well for waterfall, and there are products that suits well for agile. As a company, this is what they used to do earlier. Now they're moving away from this and transitioning to agile. So they are kind of in between state here, which is I'm calling in red zone right now. They're transitioning from here to here. All the companies do follow waterfall for some of those edge cases that I just talked about, right? Some detailed projects, some first-time products, some research if they're doing. If there is a research they're working on, it's very hard to produce a product in 2 to 4 weeks because that research can take 4 to 6 months. Just for example, if someone wants to build a cashierless store, like you walk into the store and come out without having any person involved in the store for your checkout process. Now that requires an extensive research. You cannot launch that product without doing your research. You cannot launch the product in 2 to 4 weeks or in 3 months. That will require a year-long analysis and research, right? So those kind of things will fall in waterfall. Once that becomes a reality, those tough products, that vision becomes a reality, then you can iterate slowly on that after every 2 to 4 weeks. But to launch the first product itself, it will be very hard for you to go through MVP process. Am I making sense? So right now, people are moving from here, and all the companies are adopting Agile for several reasons. This is what companies are going after. And I can tell you, this is even slower. What you see here, companies feel this is still slower. If we go with startup, it kills everything that you have here, and you get your product in like 2 to 3 weeks. Startup model is completely different than Agile. And the reason is because you do not have anyone involved in the process. It's just you and your founder. You work together, you define some rules, you create something, and you just build something and launch it, right? So nobody is going to stop you to do those things. There is no process, there is no bureaucratic process involved in this. So startup is completely different. But when startup gets developed, after that, they will transition from startup model to Agile to get a stable product, and they will try to settle with this one. So in Agile is a methodology. Waterfall is also a methodology. Agile has different type of methodologies in Agile. There are 3 types in Agile. So it's Scrum, it's XP, Kanban, and there is one more that has recently came in, just in last 1 or 2 years. Safe. Okay. And just so that you know, both of them are software development lifecycle. So both of them are called software development lifecycle. And these are 2 different ways, which is SDLC is what it's popularly known for. So in SDLC, you have Agile and Waterfall. Under Agile, you have 4 more types: Scrum, XP, Kanban, and Safe. In the class, we are going to learn about Scrum. XP is outdated. Nobody uses this. It's been stopped, I think, since probably last 12 years. Nobody is using XP anymore. Kanban, used for a very specific department. And I'll tell you what the department is. This is the latest one. And a very few company has adopted this. The reason is people are still struggling to adopt Scrum, and Safe is next level than Scrum. So this is the widely used. Methodology in Agile. Cool. Any questions on the background so far on Agile? We are going to learn how this Scrum works, what are the steps involved in it, like in Waterfall, and what exactly happens in that. But before I go further, I just wanted to set this transition, this foundation for you all. Any questions, guys?
Why do we need transition?
Why do we need transition as in? Companies want to do this, right? Companies want to move from waterfall to agile.
In an existing project?
Yes, all the projects that you have, once company make a decision that we want to go in waterfall, or we want to move away from waterfall to agile, every single project that you have in your company will be translated to agile. Except for few unique products that we just talked about, right? When you're doing some research or it's a new product, or when you're working with third party, you can't control that. But otherwise, this will be true for every single project, existing project. The moment you make a decision, they'll move it from waterfall to agile.
So we need to know both the forms, waterfall and agile.
Yep. And that's why when someone asked in the class yesterday that when we are talking about when the job description says agile, should we talk about waterfall? Yes, we need to. But not, we will first talk about agile and then we'll end our answer with waterfall. Just to give an idea that I know both the processes.
Okay.
Morning, James. Sorry, I was a little late. I just had a question. What is the purpose of these two softwares?
These are not softwares. These are methodology. These are process. Software is something physical. This is not physical. This
Okay.
Like, how do you think? How do you think? Okay, if there is a problem, I would think this way. So when you think this way, that's a method, right? That's a process. It's not a software. Something you think. So this is the method. Under this method, under Agile, there are 4 different methods, sub methods, and Scrum is what we are going to focus on. And for using Scrum, there is a software, and we're going to talk about those software in a minute.
Okay, so right now you just basically going through the advantage and disadvantages for each.
Yes. Why do we need this, right? This is the basic question. This is definitely an interview question.
Yeah, why do we need this?
Yes, this is definitely an interview question.
So what would be the answer to that?
Advantages.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Okay, and
So
go ahead, Hassan. Someone had a question?
did you got my? So what I said is like, it's just like thinking outside the box and just thinking. So waterfall, agile is just thinking. Don't think inside or outside the box. Just think.
Just think.
And implement it.
Yep. You need to be really, really fast, because if you're not fast, then you're gone. So let me show you something. Digital. This is not part of this class, but I've actually presented on digital transformation at several places, and I can show you one of the quickest comparison that I have that will open up your mind on this. So BA. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
So this, if you notice on this slide, we have this is for the e-commerce store. We have Sears, JCPenney, Nordstrom, Kohl's, Macy's, Best Buy, Target, Walmart, and Amazon. Okay. This screenshot was taken, or this report came in on December 30th, 2016. So which is like 4 years ago. Okay. If you notice, this is, let me zoom in so you can read. Market value in 2006 for these companies versus market value for these companies in 2016 for the same company. If you notice, there is not even a single company which market values grew in positive from here, except for Amazon, which grew by 2000%. You see this? Why? Because
Wow.
Amazon
Digital marketing.
Sorry?
As I said, digital marketing.
Digital marketing is one thing, but before that, Amazon has built products and tools, technology to support marketing. There are tools and technology that you need. And Amazon has implemented Agile way earlier than any of these folks, because of which they are able to deliver things like a lot faster. What is the reason they have done that? Because they have done this a lot faster. All these customers that would have gone through this e-commerce store, they ended up working with Amazon, buying things from Amazon. So Amazon stealed these customers from these reputed companies and grew their portfolio from $17.5 billion to $400 billion in 2016. Why? Because they were running so fast. They understood their customers' need. They were able to deliver those products in time. Right now, Amazon Prime, like nobody can beat that. Amazon Prime is like light years ahead in terms of their delivery model. Nobody can beat that, right? So because of Amazon Prime, whenever someone wants to get something now, at least personally, I lack in patience. I cannot wait for delivery to come in after 3 days from now. I want something tomorrow, right? So it has changed my nature. It has changed my habit. So because of this, now I'm not going to leave Amazon. So Amazon has delivered this model like light years ahead in this as compared to these companies, and because of which they're completely ruling the market right now, and that is why their company is growing. So speed to market is important for this reason. Other people can take your share. What Uber has done in last 10 years, Uber is just one company that has grew by how much? Probably I don't know what is their current value, but could be in billions, right? 15-20 billion dollars for now. But that if you see, that is not a new market. Customers were spending money in cabs before. So all the local companies combining together, those local companies are making $20 billion now. Those customers were moved from that company, those local companies, to Uber. So they've just shifted using a tool. That amount is still there in the market, right? That market was still there. But what is happening now? All the local companies got bankrupt. I at least knew a few of my friends who were doing this kind of business. They literally went from like $40,000 a month profit to like $2,000 a month profit. And it became so unsustainable for them that to close the business. So this is why speed to market is important. Once you capture, and you guys might be wondering that how Amazon is able to do this. They're not making profit. I think it was last 2 years before is first time they made profit, and they showed the profit after 18 years of their business started. Uber is not making profit till date. Uber is losing probably $400 million every month. They're getting investment from people, right? So goal, disruption, you might have heard this disruption word. The goal these days is to acquire customer. It doesn't matter whether you're making profit or not. Why? Once you have customer, you know that people will come to you. And that's why you get investment, and that's why you get funding. So the entire nature of doing business has changed in last 10 years because of this digital disruption. I'll give you an example of WhatsApp. WhatsApp was free, right? But WhatsApp had like how many, I don't remember, 200 million users, if I'm not wrong, when they sold it to Facebook. For each user, they charged $50. So they worked for free, like all the entire WhatsApp was funded by someone. They were not making any money because they were never charging anything for the platform, right? But they acquired customers. Once they acquired the customer, that they sold it in $18 billion. Had they been charging this to customer earlier, like even $1 fee, people would have not used WhatsApp as much as the other platforms. So they thought big, right? It's a risk. It's a disruption. When you offer convenience at free, who is not going to take it? Right? Just imagine if someone tells you, hey, I'll give you your grocery delivery at home for free. Would you not take it? Right? Hey, I'll drop you at your office for free every day with no personal agenda. Would you not take it? I'll be your driver for free. You will not take it? You will, right? Convenience at free or near free price is where world is driving. And that is the reason Agile is being so popular. Is it making
So you mean making human more what do you call them? Lazy.
Yep. Handicap.
And how do these companies make profit then at a later stage?
They go for funding. They don't make profit. They burn money. If they make profit, they will be paying heavy taxes. They would never want to make profit. They'll start another sister company and they'll reinvest there and do something new and all, but they would never want to make profit because they have funding, right?
Sometimes they get enough exposure to start doing ads, right? Like ad revenue and whatnot.
Yeah, They're not worried about it. If they want to make profit, they know how to make profit. They don't want to make profit. Goal is to not make profit. Goal is to get customers. Goal is to make your product to a level where my kid yesterday said first time Amazon. I'm like, shoot. Imagine the brand recognition of Amazon. He sees every day there is something coming from Amazon. And he said, he started laughing, hey, Amazon, Amazon. I was like, what happened? And then he said, there is a product outside. Imagine now that is going to be in his head forever. And he's going to buy so many products from Amazon in his entire life now. Brand recognition, right? That's what they're going after. And they are not, if someone tells you, hey, invest money in Amazon, I'll invest in, like, people invest in their stocks, right? They do invest money in Amazon. So all this, now they don't have to worry about the funding because everything is coming from the stock money. People are buying their stocks, which was at like $1,500 and now it is at $3,000. So bottom line is that companies do want to make profit, but even if they don't make profit, if they have a valid need that they're solving for customers, they will get funding from some way or the other. And that is where the startup world rules. But the balance between startup and agile, or waterfall and agile, is this. This is where companies are shooting for in long term. If you're following this process, then your company is susceptible for in long term. Like you can work, your company can sustain. It will not go bankrupt. Okay. But if you're not adopting this, then your company is going to definitely get bankrupt. If not now, in next 5 years from now. So you need to increase your speed to market because customers are getting impatient now. They cannot wait. They cannot wait for you to offer online platform for next 5 years. They want it like tomorrow. Or more, I can say they want it today, not even tomorrow. They want convenience at their fingertip right at this moment. Cool. So let's cover the actual example. In Agile, like in waterfall, we had initial phase, which is feasibility analysis, competitive analysis, market research. Then we do planning. Then we do requirements gathering. Then we do design, development, and then we do testing and implementation, right? And let me open the document here so you guys see what I'm comparing against. BHR. Okay, can you see here my screen? So if you see, it was a phased approach. Project initiation phase, planning, this is analysis, is requirement gathering, then design, then development, then testing, and then implementation at the end. This is how waterfall works. And each phase takes about 2 to 3 months. And I think I told you this before, right? Why do we call this as waterfall? It's called waterfall because a drop of a water that goes from top to the bottom, it never comes back, right? Waterfall. So when there is a fall, it just goes down. It's just always one way. It's never two way. It's never circle. It's always one way. So you go from one phase to another, second to third, third to fourth. That's why it's named as waterfall. Agile is different. Agile doesn't work in this phased approach. As we studied yesterday, everything happens in parallel. When I'm working on analysis, someone is working on design. When someone is working on design, another person is working on development. And likewise, someone else is working on testing. And at the end, product is getting launched. So there is a method to this. What is that method? In Agile, we have three different steps. So it's called wish list, product backlog, and sprint backlog. This is what Agile goes after. Okay, you have wish list, product backlog, and sprint backlog. You don't have those 6 phases that we just talked about right now in Agile. How it works is, if you remember, we talked about the business case and project charter in waterfall, right? Over here, we don't talk about that project charter or business case at all. We directly talk about the ideas. Hey, what do you want to implement in this particular product? Let's talk about this, right? So people will throw their ideas. You will be in the room for 4 hours with everyone. how can you find out, first of all, whether you're going to work in agile environment or you are in waterfall environment? So there are two ways. First, in your job description, if it says it's a product owner job, you are definitely in agile. Okay. If you see in the description, words like user story, acceptance criteria, or Scrum or Agile. These are the indications that you're going to apply for Agile based projects. When you're walking in the company, how would you find out that? So you would walk into a room, entire room will have a lot of sticky notes, like on the wall. They will have a lot of sticky notes put around. You all understand sticky notes, right? That yellow color sticky notes that we get. Entire wall will be painted with those sticky notes. And do not wonder what that room is. That room is Agile room. Okay, this is just to let you know how can you find out what is Agile and what is not Agile. Okay, so what is wish list? We are going to talk about this in detail today, and we are going to do a project to go through these things and these steps. And this sprint backlog is where we create user stories. The only documentation we produce is user stories, which is in this phase. And I'll show you what that looks like. So I'll give you a very simple example. Again, I like giving simple examples first, then going into the actual real examples. So let's say if you've bought a house, right? And when you buy a house, and now you want to move in 1 month from now, right? And probably your spouse asks you a question that, hey, what all things we want to buy for the house? What would you do?
I mean, if you ask your spouse, to be honest, she want everything new, sir.
Yes. Okay. And what would that be? So you'll start creating a list?
Yes.
That is correct. Yes.
And what that list would look like? Probably a $1 million list. Just joking. But there will be a lot of things on that list.
Yes, sir. I mean, like from carpet to furniture, from TV to sofas. I mean,
so when you get that list,
never ending.
Yep. So when you get that list, right? That is wish list. Can I assume that is a wish list? It's someone's wish.
It's supposed to become true after married for 31 years.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you prioritize.
Yes, you prioritize after that. But what would you do first,
She's a
right? So
keeper if you have a man cave.
What was that, Abdul?
I
That
said
would
if
be
she allows
last,
a man
sir.
cave, then she's a keeper.
Yeah. So trust me, guys, this is the same conversation we have in the companies. When you work with people who have married to the company for 30 years, they will have this huge list that you have to fulfill for them. And you cannot disappoint them because they're married to the company for 30 years, right? So you value their opinion. So same thing applies here as well, nothing different. But from that wish list, what happens? Like if someone is asking for a sofa, someone is asking for dining table and some other furniture, right? So there is a category that is a furniture. That is first category. Second category is about the electronics. You'll probably need a refrigerator. You'll probably need a television, right? You'll probably need another electronic devices that I can't think of. But so from that wish list that you have secured after talking to so many people at your house, you started categorizing them, that what falls under furniture, what falls under electronics, what falls under utensils, right?
So question. So it means, sorry to cut you off, like list and then sub list and then priority list. Is that what it is?
So if you see here, brainstorm a list of ideas, categorize them into epics and features. Epics and features is just a fancy word of category and subcategory. In Agile, do not say in the interview category and subcategory. You always have to use epics and features. It's just a jargon. Just remember that you can't use anything else for that. But they both mean simple thing, categories and subcategories. So you will divide your entire wish list into categories and subcategories. What do I mean by subcategories? In furniture, I can have subcategories as the main room, as the living room, right? As the kitchen, as the bedroom, as the guest room. These are subcategories. So I can divide my furniture, what I want to buy for each room. So I have a category which is furniture. Under that, I have 5 different subcategories. Like I've defined that per room. Likewise, I can do same for electronics. I can have a bigger category as electronics. Under that, I'll have 5 categories for each room. What electronics I want to buy for each room, right? So you always have categories and subcategories, which in our case, category is epics and subcategory is features. Okay. So unlike waterfall, what happened? You went to your boss and asked, hey, where is the project charter? Give me the scope document. You will never find one for Agile. But what you can find for Agile is a wish list. What happens in wish list is you will call this, and this is no exaggeration, okay? You literally have meetings for 8 hours a day for 5 days a week. I'm talking about your entire week is back to back. You are in this session with a lunch break, obviously. And in that lunch break, they will provide you lunch. So even when you're eating, you're listening to them, although your ears are like tired of it, right? These sessions are very extensive sessions. Again, we do not create scope document here only for a reason, because we want to communicate. We bring together every single person that, let's go to our list of softwares. Not this one. Uber. So I'm pulling our old BRD that we created for Uber platform. How many departments we had in that? We had how many? Let's go here and take a look at it. If you go to business requirements here, we listed down this list of systems, right? Am I right? This list of system obviously falls into a number of departments in your company, because each company is requiring one system to manage their work. So you literally pull together every single department and a head of the department or a person who is extremely knowledgeable in that department. You pull in all those folks in that meeting, probably about 15 to 20 people. You don't do that. It's probably a job for a product manager, or mostly it's a Scrum Master role where, and again, we're going to talk about Scrum Master at depth as we progress in the class. Agile is where Scrum Masters are used. Scrum Masters are never used in the waterfall, just for your knowledge. So you pull together, it's a product manager's job. They pull together all these departments of a company, and they want to make sure that when they pull in all these people in their in the brainstorming session, there is an agenda. First day will be purely talking about, hey, we are starting a new product, or we have an existing product. What can we do better? From there, people will start throwing ideas, regardless of how costly they are, how long they can take to get delivered, whether they are realistic or not, whether it is too small of an idea, it doesn't matter. People will literally speak their mind there. There is no constraint, nothing. All you're doing is, hey, I have an idea, and this happens in 2 different ways. Okay, they might create an online tool. They might use an online tool, and every company has their own tool. So there is no specific name to really mention on the call, but just for your knowledge that they will be using some tool where you can add your information on the spot. Okay, you can add your information on the spot. And so it will create small boxes when you add information. And once everyone is done adding that, they'll probably give you an hour to do that. And then they will start discussing their entire list, what each of those boxes mean. They start discussing that. A person who has given that idea will explain what that idea is about. And when they do that, at the same time, they will start categorizing and subcategorizing them. How would you do that in real world, in physical world? You are in a meeting room, you have hundreds of sticky notes. Every person is filling in one idea in one sticky notes, and they're just going and putting it on the wall. Okay. Now what happens is there is someone standing near the wall. That person will ask, hey, what this means. They will have like broad 6 categories defined on the wall. These are the broad 6 categories now. After they've seen the entire list, they'll come up with 6 high-level categories, and they'll start putting in each sticky note under that category. So you see, this is not where you're not using any tool. This is how it happens in person. But these days, because of pandemic, it is all virtual. So we use some software to do the same exercise here, what we are doing in the office, right? So once you start talking about those things, there will be discussions that, hey, this thing falls here or falls here, because not everything is super clear, right? There will be a lot of discussion that will happen. So once they settle with that view, then they start dividing that category, whatever wish list, whatever cheat sheet you had there, the sticky notes. They will try to regroup them as subcategories. What all falls in one category, and what all falls in one subcategory from there. So you will see that untidy and random wall with sticky notes will be soon organized and look so beautiful, and you would exactly know what is happening now. And I'm talking about, if you don't have a wall, if you have a glass in your office, entire glass will be full of sticky notes. So this is how it works in the office, and this is the essence of a brainstorming session. Any questions so far?
Is that a real thing, like the sticky notes thing?
Yes, extremely real. That's what I'm saying. When you walk into the office, the moment you see sticky notes around you, and not just one or two sticky notes on your table, right? I mean, like literally, you are walking into a room and you see the entire room is full of sticky notes. Understand that's an agile room. So do not ask that question that, hey, is this agile room or what is this? You don't have to ask the question. Just understood. It's understood that, hey, you are in an agile room now. Okay. You may be
So
after this brainstorming session or before this brainstorming session. It depends where you're applying and what kind of jobs they have. But 70% chances are that you will be part of a team after this brainstorming session has happened. Because this is happening at the senior level. It's more like in our feasibility analysis, what we discussed, right? In waterfall. Before you hire a team, you want to make sure that you have a lot of things to work upon. So this is part of that. Okay. And as a product owner, one second, just as a product owner, you work with your product manager. This is the job of a product manager to create all these things. But of course, from the interview perspective, because we're going to do this exercise in the class, we can very well claim that we have this knowledge how to create wish list and all. It's not that difficult. It's just that you have to go with an open mind where you are very receptive of a feedback. Don't get offended, and do not dismiss someone's argument. Be extremely open-minded. There is no limitations here. Whatever you think, you can put it out there. Because no idea is a silly idea is what we consider in this. Okay, Abdul, go ahead with your question.
So this is only regarding to the product owner position, right? What does this relate to, like in case you're a business analyst, why do we have to know this? I'm just curious, like what's the relationship?
So when you start applying for jobs as a business analyst or as a product owner, right? This is the other side of the coin. If you're applying as a product owner, other side of the coin is a business analyst. If you're applying as a business analyst, other side of the coin is a product owner. They might not tell you this explicitly, but you are expected to answer from both the fronts in the interview, and you are expected to perform both the roles in your office. So you really want to understand that, hey, this could be my role, even if I'm applying as a business analyst, or this could be my role, even if I'm applying as a product owner. And if you lack in one of those things, you will not be able to clear the interview. At least what I've seen based on the candidates I have placed before and the kind of interviews we take and kind of things going around. And so they have combined these roles now, and they're letting one person do multiple jobs because of the budget constraints. It's been probably about 6 years now. I'm performing 3 different roles, actually 4 different roles in my company. And I work for like 4 or 5 companies. And when we hire people, we look for the dynamic personality where people can take multiple roles.
So is this the product owner thing that you've been telling us?
Yes. And guys, we have a dedicated session completely on what are the roles distinction between product owner, business analyst, and scrum master. You will get exact details on what they would look like. But for now, understand that in Agile, you work as a product owner, and as the sprint starts, as the product starts developing, you do perform business analyst role as a product owner, right? So this is innovation phase. If you remember our 3 keywords: innovation, execution, and people management. People management is Scrum Master. Executing a product is business analyst. Innovation is all product owner. What we're talking about right now is pure innovation. Am I right? So always remember these three keywords. It will help you understand where we are in the process and what we are discussing. It's
What was that again? The three?
innovation, execution, and people management.
And so does the agile methodology come before the business analyst starts doing his work?
So I'm not sure where the confusion is, right? Methodologies are methodologies. You can be hired when the first step of the methodology is being executed, or you could be hired in the third step of the methodology being executed. You could be hired anywhere. This is a strategy that company defines how to build products. When they decide a strategy, whether you want to go with Agile or Waterfall, they define that, and then they will start hiring team, or they can hire the team at the same time when they're making these decisions.
Yeah, that's what my question is. Which part where the BA comes in Agile?
I think we are jumping the gun ahead. I have a flow, and let's not go back and forth on what is B and P, right? We start with innovation, then we'll go to the execution, and that's when we'll talk about the BA role.
Okay.
I'm assuming the BA will never come in before the product owners.
No.
Guys, please, can I stop you guys? I think you guys are confusing yourself. I have a flow, and it will be clear to you. Don't worry about that. Please go with the structure that I've defined, because I don't want you to go back and forth in your thoughts right now, right? Understand that if you want to get a job, both BA and PO role, you need to absolutely understand well, and you need to perform well in both the roles. You have to work on both the roles. There is no option. That is the reason I've combined this training, right? These were 3 different trainings 2 years before for me, but now I've combined it because I know that people are asking for it. So whatever you're learning, it's going to help you. Let's not confuse what is PO and BA, because as we said, it is too early to define those roles. If I open a presentation and share it with you, you will not understand anything in that. So let's go with the flow. First, understand what Agile is before even what is PO or what is BA role. That's more important. It's more important to understand how Agile works. Then we can go into that zone. So wish list. Any questions on wish list so far? How the wish list works? It's more like, hey, if you have an anniversary coming up, or if you have a birthday party coming up, you just put together a list. What kind of gifts you are expecting from your from the people who are going to participate in your celebrations, right? You can create this wish list on Amazon. You can create this wish list on Macy's, anywhere, and people can buy things for you. Likewise, we need to create this kind of wish list for our product. Once you create this a full wall where you have categories and subcategories in that, from those things, your job is to make sure now, how would you prioritize what things should go first? And that is where you use 2 different principles. We talked about this before. Moscow, 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 and 80-20 rule. Okay. So and we are going to practice this in real time right now with the help of one exercise. So this is what happens when so this is the hierarchy. Epics, then features. Under features, you will start prioritizing and identifying what features you want to work first. And for each features, there will be several user stories. User stories will be part of sprint backlog. So if you have defined, let's say you have prioritized login feature. For that login feature, there could be 5 different user stories that will be prioritized now. And I'll tell you what is user story. Just give me a few minutes. I think we are coming closer to close this topic and start a new one. So the 3 steps here is wish list, product backlog, and sprint backlog. Okay. In sprint backlog is where you talk about the user stories. In product backlog, you try to identify dependencies and prioritize epics or features. And in wish list, you brainstorm the list of ideas and categorize them into epics and features. So this is the broad distinction between what you do in each of these 3 phases. And your answer should not go any further in detail than this when you're presenting in the interview. This itself is a lot to explain in the interview. So your answer should not go any further than this at least at a high level. Okay. Now, what is user story? So we talked about the BRD. BRD looks so extensive. So if I go back to our BRD, this was our BRD. We had like this big topic. This is like a book, right? We were writing a book. This is all we covered in BRD. Agile is user stories is not this way. Agile stories are very different. Stories are written from the user's perspective. And where did it go? Excel sheet. User stories. So user stories are written from the user's perspective. The way it's written is, as a user, I want this feature so that something on those lines. As a user, ... I want this ... so that ... Now let me put it in a perspective. As a user, I want to be able to submit my preliminary question list online before going to a clinic, so that I can save my time and I can fill this form at my own convenience. Make sense? I'm talking about users' need. Why would a user want this particular thing? In BRD, what we had done, in BRD, we stated plainly in English that, hey, I want to, let's look at the business requirement. What is the business requirement here? Passengers shall be able to sign up and provide their basic information in the order listed below. So this is how they can sign up, right? So I just said the passengers shall be able to sign up, but why? So this same thing would be written in a way, as a passenger, I want to sign up for an Uber application so that I can start booking my rides after that. So it's a different way of writing this same thing, or same requirement that we had is been written in a different way now. And the reason is, the moment you say as a passenger, when you start reading these user stories, you really feel as a user, do I need this or I don't need this? Right now you're putting a perspective in place. I said I need this. And so now is where Moscow will start coming in. Moscow is must have, should have, could have, and would have. So you feel as a user when I make this statement, is it really a must have, or is it a could have, or is it would have, or is it should have? So for every single user story that you will write, you will put must have, should have, could have against that. That's correct, San. You have to be a good storyteller. Go ahead, Samnit.
So, and basically in Agile, we're taking out all the details and thinking out of the box as a customer, as a consumer, and writing the story for the product.
For the product. Because you want to think as customer, whether customer is going to use your product or not. Because when I read a document, I can get lost in this, that, hey, which one is important, which one is not important. But now when I put as a customer, I want this, it really makes me think, do I really want this?
So the entire team is going to be working like that and thinking like the consumer, or is it just we, like the PO?
It's just PO and a business analyst, and you have to cultivate that mindset with the entire team. It will be very hard. People will not understand that way. And it's good, because if they understand them, then they will not need you. So it's our job.
Okay.
It's our job.
And you had put a time frame in the last part of the Agile. I noticed there is a time frame where you said 2 weeks, versus in the waterfall, what we were doing, you said it'll take 3 months and everything. So this time frame has to be decided in the first stage.
Yeah. So sprint. So this sprint is called sprint. When we say iteration, it's called sprint or iteration. It's the same thing. Okay. When you're talking in the interview, do not use word iteration. It may be a little confusing because there are some other methodologies. I would suggest you to use sprint-based approach. Waterfall is a phased approach. Agile is a sprint-based approach. And each sprint here can vary from 1 week in length to 4 weeks. It can go from 1 week to 4 weeks. And every company defines it based on their talent available in their company and the kind of project they're working on. Usually what I've seen is 1 month is too old. like too much to wait. Like for one sprint, 1 month is a lot, and 2 weeks is a good balance. When you do 1 week, it's too aggressive. People are not able to meet that deadline. So 2 weeks is a good balance between 1 to 4 weeks. So a lot of companies go with the 2 weeks sprint cycle. In that 2 weeks, they will create the stories, they will write they will develop the product, they will test it, and they will launch it. They will create the stories, develop the product, right? Test this product and launch it. Every 2 weeks, this is going to happen.
And as a PO, are you supposed to identify and prioritize what phase of the product has to be like on the product backlog? Are you supposed to identify that?
We're going to go into that. We're going to go into that. That is your role. So whatever team is going to work on in this sprint, it's all defined by you. And that is where the prioritization comes in the picture.
And everybody agrees to that.
They may not. It would not be a smooth sail every time, right?
Okay.
And we'll see those kind of complications, those kind of discussions, what happens in the office. We'll see this in the class. In our next few classes that we are going to have, we'll be creating those scenarios and we'll be creating those complications for our project. So can I understand at least at a high level that you guys follow what is wish list, product backlog, and sprint backlog? In sprint backlog, you'll have list of stories. In product backlog, you'll have list of epics and features, which you prioritize and identify dependencies. In wish list, you'll have list of ideas, which you convert into epics and features. Can I assume that we have settled on this at least for now?
And as a PO, you have the right to discard anybody's idea that you don't approve or if the team doesn't approve of in the wish list, or you have to just accumulate all the ideas that are there in the brainstorming session.
It's a teamwork, so we cannot really disregard everyone's input, but we have to do it. Although we have to do the same thing, but we do it very diplomatically. Right? If you feel it's not a priority, we have to do it very diplomatically. And and again, guys, I think you guys are thinking a lot right now. I want you to narrow down your focus right now. Understand what is Agile, how you're going to function, what you're going to work on. It's my responsibility. I will make you aware of those. Don't worry. I really want you to understand first what is Agile. Do you understand Agile as a concept? It is very important to know what is Agile as a concept before you do anything further. Can I assume that you guys at least have the clarity now on this wish list, product backlog, and sprint backlog with the advantages and disadvantages we discussed above?
Somewhat.
Somewhat. Okay.
I think when you follow through, like you'll start to put the puzzle pieces together.
Yeah, it'll happen, and don't worry. But I think if you don't understand the concept and we go into the responsibilities of POB and Scrum Master, it's going to be super confusing. Right, and we have a dedicated session, so don't worry about it. I think our first goal is to understand how these things are going to work, and we want to put this in practice. I am sorry I did not give you guys a break today. I was thinking, why am I running so slow? I just realized that we started class at 11 a.m. This daylight saving has changed my mind, guys. Sorry. So remind me if you guys need break. And I was thinking to continue for additional 30 minutes, like up to 1:30, if you guys are okay. But if not, it's fine. We can probably have a makeup session for the hour that we lost today, based on everyone's convenience. Whatever works for you guys, let me know.
So
I'm okay with that.
I'm sorry. I was going to ask you something. I'm sorry.
Just a minute. Type of methodologies.
So even if after the 8 hours of work session, we still have a lot of homework to do at home if we are working in an Agile environment.
If you're working with an offshore team, like team is based out of Asia, somewhere in Asia or some other like California, that time difference can kill you. But yeah, you might see yourself in that situation. And that's where we have ways to streamline that communication and not go crazy. So I'll help you with that if you're found to be in that environment during your work life. I'll help you with that.
Got it. Thank you.
So now, do you guys want a break, or do you guys feel still fresh to digest a few more things? I'm always charged up, guys.
I'm just gonna take a 2-minute break.
Few minutes break. Okay, let's take a few minutes break. Hey all, let me know when you're back.
I was trying to put this into perspective. So like the waterfall method would be kind of like reading a whole storybook in detail front to back, and like the agile method would just be reading like the summary of the whole book.
Yes,
that
one
make-
chapter at a time. So instead of having one book with 20 chapters, you will have 20 books with 20 chapters.
One chapter each.
One chapter each, yes. And that one chapter will be more of a summary, not even in that detail.
Right, gotcha.
So let me know once everyone is back. We can start our exercise.
I'm back.
Okay, so I have list of wish list for e-commerce project, but I'll probably let you guys use that for your assignment and just read through it. I think I want to do a real exercise in the class for the wish list. So I want to facilitate a session right now where one of you will be presenting or collecting notes at the same time. And the goal is we're going to talk about the mortgage project right now. So we understood how the mobile application works. And in order to make mobile application work for one application like Uber, we have to make so many other things work, which is, if you see this list here, these are the list of things that we need to make it work before we launch a mobile application, right? Similarly, when you launch a website or a portal that customers are going to use, we have to go into this level of details for that as well. So we are going to cover a different digital project, which is on mortgage and more on the finance side as opposed to what we did in the Uber. So this will be a change in the gear and intentional change in the gear because to make your profile diverse and add more flavors to that. Okay, because every project comes with its own unique challenges. Like 60%, 70% challenges are same. Additional 30-40% depending on your project and your team, it just gets add up. We cannot imagine what they could be. So the more variations we do, it's better for us. So the second project that we are going to cover in the class, we already covered one more additional project, which was payment BRD. Payment is altogether a separate project on its own. As I said yesterday, there will be an additional BA working on that. You will be not expected to work on payment and the entire Uber app. That's just humanly not possible. It's that big of a project. So, and mostly whenever you're going to join a company, payments project, if it's an existing company that has already been taken care of, all you're doing is just referencing the existing information. So for example, right, if you are on a mortgage company, if you're deployed in a mortgage company, they already have their ways to show interest rate and APR. Otherwise, they will not be able to support customers, right? If you're in Uber, they already have a way to calculate the fees and all. Otherwise, they will not be able to support the customers as well. If you are part of that process or that team after they've built this process, it's mostly to enhance that process. If there is some calculation logic which is broken or which is not working well, or which you want to make changes based on the rules and regulations, then you'll be making those updates. But you will not work on the entire logic on your own. So working on entire payment process on your own, first of all, it's like 90% not possible. Okay, but I still wanted to cover that just to give you an idea what it can entail. Now, for the mortgage project, let me give you some background what we're going to cover, and let me give access to all of you. I think I can do that only after I will stop sharing screen. So our goal today is we are going to talk about, and this is a tool. I'm going to request you all to get the access for Azure DevOps and Jira. I'll tell you where you can find those links, but let's do this exercise first.
Is it for the sprint meetings?
It's for writing user stories. It's for sprint meetings, both. We write user stories like we write BRD in Excel. We write user stories in this tool. user stories are not written in Word document or Excel. It's written in this tool. And so that entire team can use this information from here and do things with that they want to. So again, we can wait on that. That's not so urgent. What we need to understand today is first, we are talking about a mortgage project, and I'm giving you a case study. Okay, this is the discussion that is happening in an agile environment where we have to facilitate a brainstorming session to improvise our customers' journey for academy mortgage site. And please do not use word website or site. Say it as a user portal, PORTAL. When you say website or site, it degrades the value of the project that you have done, because you've not built a website, you've built a portal. Okay, portal is very different than website. So we are going to create a portal for our users, which they're going to like it, as opposed to what we have right now. And our CEO is coming to this conclusion because our CEO sees that we have about 2,000 visitors coming on this page every day. Out of those 2,000 customers, only 20 people, 20 people submits contact information, their contact information. So we can contact them and we can offer them a mortgage and sign up them as a customer. Only 20 people provides us the contact information. From those 20, only 2 or 3 visitors actually turn up as our customer. So our ratio is, you have 2,000 visitors coming to this page, only 20 of them submits their contact information, and only 2 from there are actually becoming our customer. So if you want to go with the numbers, let's open the calculator. So we will do 2000, 20. When people submit their contact information, they are called leads. Okay, LEAD, lead. So 20 out of 2000 is how much? Into 100. So we get only 1% of our customers. Sorry, there's a difference between customer and visitor. Only 1% of our visitors are actually submitting contact information. From this 1% now, only 2 people are submitting. So 2 out of 20 submits or becomes our customer, which is again, I'll multiply that by 100. That's about 10%. But if so this is 10% if I compare, like we have 2 customers from every 20 leads. But if I compare this against 2,000 visitors, what would it look like? 2 divided by 2,000.
0.01.
And into 100. So our real problem is, what is our real challenge? That we get only 1% customers submitting their contact information, and only 0.1 customer, 0.1 becomes our customer. You see, it's a problem. It's a genuine problem. Would you be happy with this number if you're a business owner?
No.
I think website issue. It's not very intuitive or user friendly, maybe.
Yeah. So we don't know yet. We don't know yet whether it's a website issue or not, right? And that's the case study. So one thing that we need to know is, Hassan, did not mean to be rude on the call, but just take this as a feedback, right? For everyone, not just for Hassan. Even I have done this in my past when I started my job. Whenever there is a problem given, let's not assume something and let's not give a solution. When we say it's a website issue, we actually suggested a solution there to improvise our website. Right? As I said, brainstorming session is very open-minded session. We have to be extremely open-minded. We should not be judgmental about anything, right? So it's probably for everyone, including myself. So over here, our goal is to identify, first of all, if you are a user, what would make you submit the contact information on this website and become a customer? And what is not letting you submit your form, your information on this website, and stopping you to become a customer for this particular company. So we're going from that lens. Are you guys following? I'm not talking about any specific feature, any specific website. I'm purely talking from the customer perspective. If customers are coming to this site or this portal, what's triggering them to be our customer or submitting a lead, and what's stopping them to not become our customer and not give us their contact information. I have those two open questions right now. What I want you all to do, I want you all to first take, it's 12:47. And sorry, you guys said that you guys are okay to stay for another 30-45 minutes today? After one?
Sure.
Two,
Two.
right? I don't know.
Okay, cool. So in that case, let's take 5 minutes. I'll open this site on your site, academymortgage.com. I'll give you 2 minutes, not 5 minutes. I'll just give you 2 minutes. I think 2 minutes would be too less. Let's take 5 minutes. I want each of you to open this website on your laptop, academymortgage.com. Just go through this site, and as a user, write it down on a piece of a paper or anywhere, wherever you want, or just remember what things you liked on this site and what things you did not like on this site. And then I want one of you to, after 5 minutes, I want one of you to share her or his screen and start writing pros and cons of this use case. Do we all understand what the exercise is about?
Can you repeat that again?
After you are done reviewing the site for 5 minutes, I want one of you to present and write down the good things and bad things about this.
About the website, right?
About this website, yes.
Okay. Are we starting now?
So it's 12:50. Your time starts now. Please have this academymortgage.com open on your laptop. Take 5 minutes, make individual notes, good things and bad things on your own. And then we'll consolidate your input with having one facilitator running the session for next 5 minutes from there.
Okay.
And I'll be on mute. I will not be available to answer any questions for next 5 minutes, or in fact, next 10 minutes. I want it to be purely between you guys. Okay, I'm just a listener.
Guys, were we supposed to talk amongst ourselves about this?
After a few minutes from now, I want you guys to first complete your own analysis, and then we'll do a combined analysis.
Okay.
All right, I think it's 12:55. Do you guys need more time, or you guys are able to complete your individual analysis?
I think I'm still working on.
Okay, let's take a few more minutes, and then we can do the combined analysis. Just let me know once everyone is ready.
Almost. I'm just checking one last thing. Okay, somewhat ready.
Who wants to share the screen? and lead the session. Like all you have to do is let everyone share their pros and cons and combine that in notes in front of everyone. Like I'm doing when I'm typing notes right in front of you all, like I did for Agile and Waterfall. Exactly same thing.
So where we could create those notes?
You can just create in Excel for now if you want, or Word document, wherever you want to do it. Just send it to me and I'll put it in a proper documentation after that. Word document or Excel, if anyone has access to those two things, that's all we need.
Abdul, are you ready to take a charge here?
You said to share the screen so you can see it, the list, right?
Not just your list. We have to put your list and everyone else's list together and come up with one unique list for pros and cons.
Okay, so right now we're just verbally sharing our list.
No, you have to open Word document or Excel. Anyone who's going to share their screen,
Okay.
person has to open Word document or Excel. I'll stop sharing right now and I'll give you access to everyone who feels comfortable to share the screen.
I don't mind. It's just my laptop sometimes. It
Okay, let's go with Abdul in that case.
It's missing brain cells, man. It's not gonna.
Yeah, I think you can share your screen. You see the button at the bottom? You see button at the bottom which says green share screen. If you click on it, it will let you share your Word document or Excel, whatever you have opened in front of you. And we will let everyone talk about the pros and cons and create a list that is created by all of us, not just by one person now. Okay?
Okay.
So your time starts now.
You can see my screen?
Yes, sir.
And I'll be on
Okay.
mute. Again, I'll be not participating in this discussion. I want you all to drive it, and I'll give you my feedback after I see what has been discussed and what has been jotted down.
Yeah, like I said, I have to upgrade my RAM or whatever. I just need a new laptop, man. This is too slow.
Or you need to find a job sooner, so you'll automatically get a laptop.
Yeah, that would be wonderful.
I would say you need a laptop first to get the job.
I'll
That's
just buy
true.
one. It's not like I'm broke. Okay, so I'm gonna paste whatever I wrote down here. Yo, come on. So embarrassing. Okay. Okay, so from the very beginning, I realized that it didn't offer a free, like no obligation quote. It does, however, give you the option to find a nearby loan officer, but it doesn't set them like most companies. I would think they would like that's the first thing they offer is like a free quote. So
And to me, it's more like about them more than dealing with the client directly. If you see there's on top little window says apply here, it should be right in front. Most of the website I've seen, when they're talking about themselves, it should be on the right side. The front should be right customer facing. So you can just click, go in, do a quick approval. Just saying.
yeah, and then also like okay, so you're saying the apply now should be
Yeah, the apply now should be more highlighted.
Just I noticed one thing, Abdul. Looks like is the laptop going really slow right now?
yes,
Like you're
it
struggling
is.
to. I think in that case, let's pass it on for you this time. Can someone else take
Okay.
over? Because
Let
we have
me
to go back and
stop
forth
this.
quickly between the website and this. So I want to make sure we are able to do this properly.
Yes.
Who wants to volunteer, or should I request someone to?
This laptop's gonna get a ass whooping when we get off because it embarrassed me for my whole class. All right.
All right. So let me pick one, Savneet or Shazia. One of you feel comfortable to present?
I can't right now.
Sorry, you said you can't or you can?
I can't right now.
You can. Okay. So Savneet and I think Shrey has already done this prior, if I'm not wrong. Between Savneet and Hassan. Who wants to present? Cool. Then no one. Okay. I think I'll have to. Okay. I think someone started. Who is sharing her screen or his screen? I think it is Savneet or I'm not sure. If you're speaking, you're on mute. Either of them.
You cannot check who's sharing it.
Oh, okay. Shrey is doing that. Okay. All right, Shrey.
It's not mine. It's
This is not yours.
no.
I don't know who's sharing then. Is it Savneet or is it?
Submit.
Guys, you're on mute if you're sharing your screen.
It's something if you can see the top right corner.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
Okay, yeah, I can see here now. Right, Savneet. Okay, Savneet. So doesn't have to be on Google. Savneet, it's completely fine. Just open any Word document. It's fine. Doesn't have to be on Google.com or something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
It's
I was viewing it on my phone. So yeah.
okay. That's interesting because we need to see how it looks on phone and laptop both, right? It's academy. It's not this. The spelling is wrong.
Okay.
ACADEMY Academy Mortgage. DEMY Academy Mortgage.
Got it. Okay. Academy Mortgage. I think it's this one. Nope. Nope. Okay, let me see. I could pull it out from my phone. That's what I was doing.
That's fine. You can just open a website, right? academymortgage.com. You're not able to find that?
It's strange because I was doing it on my phone. I was
No, you
just
don't have to put
constantly, and I was reading.
you don't have to put Academy Mortgage Corporation. You just have to put Academy Mortgage and you'll find it.
Okay. I don't think it's this one.
That's not the one.
That's not the one. I don't think so. Nope. No.
Wow. Okay. Why would it not pull up? Can you just type in the URL directly, academymortgage.com?
Sure, I can do that.
Academymortgage.com. Mortgage.com. Do not put any space or anything in between. I want you to type the URL completely. Mortgage.com. Yes, that's the one.
Oh, got it. I think this one. Yeah. Then why is it not coming up here?
No, I think there's something wrong. This is not. I'm so surprised that you're not able to find this website.
I was
If
having
it
a hard
is your
time,
first choice, yeah,
so
your first
that's
choice.
why I did it on my phone. I was not able
No,
to
it should not
find it.
be. That shouldn't be the case. I think it's because maybe you are using Yahoo.
Yeah.
It is. It should not be. I think Google is the. It just comes up first on Google. So guys, such a big discovery. Even Academy Mortgage itself would not know that when you come from Yahoo or Bing, it's so difficult to find their website. So although we are getting 2,000 visitors, there could be more than that.
So maybe they are very selective on the users, maybe.
No, why would you be selective? You want customers to come to your website, right?
So maybe I don't.
I
I
can
don't know.
share it if you want.
Yes, I think let's give it one more shot. I think we are no. I think this is not good. So Savnit,
I'm so
this
sorry
is,
about that.
yeah, and this is not good, right? And so quick feedback for you. Please don't take it bad again in this way. Whenever we are going into working sessions or things like this, if you are able to open this on your phone, all you have to do is just copy and create the same URL here. You can literally type down that URL in the browser and it will open that page.
Got
That's it's that simple. I think we had spent like 10 minutes, but it's a good
Not fair,
discovery that Academy Mortgage website is not like that.
So Neat, you're typing it in the search bar. Look on top of that, there's another field where it says search.yahoo.com. Put it there. Yeah.
I think you should put
It's already there.
www dot. Then it will show.
No, you don't have to do that. .com and press enter. Yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
I got it.
that's all you have to do. Yes, academymortgage.com.
Got it.
Right? That's all you have to do. And if it is working for you now, you do have a Word document open. I think let's start discussing. I think we are running behind. Okay. So pros and cons. Can someone help her with the pros and cons?
I think
I
they
just wrote down
provide
cons.
various kind of loans, like for like veterans, for renovation, for you know, they have flexibility for fixed rate and adjustable rate.
So should I put it at various kinds of loans that are provided?
Yeah.
Are we writing?
I like.
Are we writing it on pros right now?
I'm sorry. What did you say?
Are you writing down pros of the website right now?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
I like the home buyer education link right there on top. It should have been right on the other side.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
And the find a loan officer should be number 2, right by next to the loan program.
So what do you want me to write? I barely can hear you guys. Okay.
I think it needs to, like, if you hover over the About Us section, there's a link that you can click. It says, what sets us apart? I think that should be one of the first things the customer sees, because why am I on this website? What makes this company stand out from others? I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. That's what intrigued people to go into the website and
Standard.
search more. I mean, that's what you
Yeah,
look
like
at
what-
if you go.
yeah, exactly.
Google
Why
reviews.
would I wanna even?
But we need to have a
read-
structure to make this point. It has to be structured. We can't just say standard.
Chat window popped up,
list of their
so there we can chat.
outstanding.
List of outstanding services.
Yeah. Visible upon opening the website.
I'm sorry.
I said list of outstanding services presented upon opening website or
Okay, this is
visible upon opening website.
And to me, I think find the loan
Opening.
officer should be right next to the loan program.
Oh, that would be in cons, right?
Okay, yeah, we have to write if that's a con or a pro. That was a con.
This is a
That is correct. You're right.
We're doing the pros first.
So we
Yeah,
do have
sorry.
a fixed rate and adjustable rate in this website available.
From my background, I'm an MLO by license. They should have what the going rates are, opening rates are, to entice people. Why should I go to a website when they don't have anything to give me? And why
So
should I
that's
put
going to be a
myself there?
con, right? It's not going to be a pro. We are talking about the pros right now.
Mhm. One pro I think is home buyer education, because sometimes people
That's true. And they
Yeah.
have special videos that I was noticing that you can actually visually watch and just get some education.
yes.
I think the tools right on top, it should be more visible, right? The tools are good because you can go access the tools and see if something what you want. Those are good pros actually.
Yeah, not all the websites provide that, I think, immediately. The news is really good to have the news available like on their website.
What point did you mention up to?
The news, like how they're providing the news to you without you having to go to like another website or another source. Like they give you the news right then and there.
So providing the current news.
Current news, yeah. They give you options for both company news and industry news. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that will help you, like if the
Current
percentage of the
company.
interest going up or go down.
I personally don't see any other pros so far.
They have given us a detailed description of the various loan options that we can pick from. Decide.
There's another pro in there that they're not only digital, they do provide you a loan officer, which is human face to face.
Mm-hmm.
Can we move to the cons after this?
They
After-
provide us with a chat service, actually.
Can
That's
we
what
move
I
to the
saw.
cons after
They
adding
did
chat and
ask.
They provide us with, I'm sorry, Shazia, what were you saying?
I was saying that when you open up the website, they do
Mhm.
ask you enter your zip code. Why? The
Okay.
reason they ask your zip code for? Because looking for loan officer close by or something, so we can
Yes.
connect with
And
you.
I noticed that there is a chat feature also that they offer.
Yeah.
They provide us with the chat feature.
can I request you all to move to the cons section after these two things have been covered?
Sure.
Yes, I
They
agree.
provide us
Yeah,
with
that's the
chat
hard one.
feature. Anything else?
No.
Okay.
I wanted to start off with that last point for the con. They do provide the chat feature, but however, it just pops up on its own and it covers the zip code section as soon as you open up the website. And that's annoying. Like a customer should have the manual choice to choose, hey, I want to talk to some, like how some websites have it in the bottom right corner, the chat button, you click it and then it pops open. They need to do that instead of just automatically bringing it up whenever you open the website.
Okay. Are we doing the cons now?
That's what I was
Okay.
doing. That's what I was saying. It was a con.
I think the interface is not attractive.
So, okay.
The initial thing I was saying was that chat menu pops up right away. It's annoying.
That is actually a positive feature. If somebody doesn't know, that is the best thing, for a layman. If they don't know what they're doing, they can actually go and get the chat, get some assistance.
No, but my point is that it's blocking that zip code feature, like to find the nearest loan officer. Why do they have that there when they're going to put the chat menu right in front of it anyways?
Okay, so how do you want me to put it?
I guess you can put positioning of chat menu. If you feel like the chat menu popping up is a good idea as a pro, then just do the positioning of chat menu.
I'm not in cons, I'm not seeing any rates disclosure. It should be rate. What is the going rate? What is the opening rates? They should be there.
They don't provide us with any rate options.
I have another one. Okay. If you see the site and you click on tools, those are the most important information for the users, and they actually put it in very confined area where you have to actually look up for it. Because the tools, if you're buying a home, the tools they actually have listed on there is very important for a buyer, and which is not showing on their front face. It's showing actually in a small icon. So a lot of people don't go on tools. So I don't know if it's a cons or not.
Yeah, I agree somewhat. It should be more immediate, more accessible.
Easy access of tools, but that's a solution that we are providing.
No. I'm not saying it's an easy access. And I'm saying it is not.
It is not an
the
easy
good
access.
thing to. Yeah, it is not an easy access for the tools are actually the basically
or immediate access, I would say.
Yeah, immediate access. Yeah.
Yeah.
The first time home buyer would like to know a lot of information, and the way they put it on their site is less information, more selling.
Yes. That's what I've thought too. Like, it's good that they have a home buyer education, but
Yeah.
it's like I'm hearing it from their perspective. Like, I would rather do my own research and instead of hear from them, and then kind of use that as a criteria to what they offer.
If you
So-
go on the site and you click on the tools, do you see every single home mortgage tool they put it out there? If they actually put it in a short way and then put it up on their front face, it will be easier for people to actually trust that site.
Can you explain this point again, Shazi? I'm not very clear with this.
My point was, as a user, if I'm a user and if I'm going on a site to look for a loan,
Okay.
I have a lot of things in my mind, which they put it in tools. Do you understand? Did you
Yeah.
guys click on tools?
So I think
Yes.
we covered that point in a previous thing, that not an easy access to tools.
The most, to me, the most important thing is review. This company has been in business since 1988, and they have only
That's a good point.
192 reviews, 4.8%. Why? Should I
Good
do
point.
business with them? Yes or no?
Yeah. Their reviews are not good.
You can type not enough reviews
Not
or
enough reviews. Yeah.
not enough reviews.
I always look for when I'm going to these websites is who runs it and where they come from, what their background is. To find out is really, really hard, this website.
How does it matter who runs it? I mean, reviews is the main thing that even for a product, if you're buying something, you look at the reviews. What is the customer review to get a feedback?
If they license, then all that matters is they licensed. That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
that's what it
Yeah,
matters.
at the
Yeah.
very bottom it says there's licensing and state info. And there's
So
also
that's,
So
reviews.
we're good with that.
So I'm agreeing with you, but at the same time, like suppose if I'm gonna buy a car, remember those vending machine car? You know what their background is? A lot of people don't know about them. That father was in jail for tax evasion for 20 years. Why should I do business with somebody who have a criminal background?
I
So
mean,
I'm gonna look at these things. I am going to. This is how I am.
that's
Oh.
more personal than just looking at a product. A company can be created by anyone, you know. I mean, for example, if we talk about Bill Gates, he didn't go to college, but look at him now. So it could be anyone out there on the street. So we're categorizing a personal, we're getting at a more personal level. In my opinion, is if they're licensed, they're good to go. And the reviews in a generalized way. So
And first of all, they won't be able to get a license anyway if they have criminal background. But what I want to know, how they conduct business, where they come from, what their background is. I mean, that's how I am. Why they don't have enough reviews anyway since 1988. But let's still go into it.
Okay, I wanna tell you a few more.
sure.
So there's no account login, you know, where you sign up and customer login part.
Okay.
And the website is not available in Spanish,
That's a big point.
and they don't. They're not a banking institution, so it's hard to trust for some people. And they're
What was after the Spanish point that you referred to?
not a banking institution.
Oh, not a banking institution.
Yeah. And
But what
You-
important in this, sorry, in mortgage business, you have to have an MLS number, and they do have an MLS number. which is
but
not
you know,
uncommon.
like if I'm with the bank, if I have like loans with the same bank, I would go with the same bank.
So
like-
they are more of a mortgage broker. They're not bank. They don't directly lending anything.
Yeah, but
They're-
it doesn't say that they're not tied up with anyone. Like, you
Okay,
know,
I
like
don't
if
know.
you are a loan company, they're somewhere, you know, taking they're tied up with someone at least. It doesn't say anyone in the bank. I mean, I don't care.
And
I have a point. Is it ADA compliant on this one? Because
Oh,
that's
that's a good
something we
point.
learned in the class, I think yesterday, that mostly websites should have an ADA compliance.
And the career tabs is supposed to be in the bottom section. It doesn't have to be highlighted in the top menu.
Yep. Career should be in the bottom. So not a solution, but we have to put it like careers is in the top, which is a distraction.
Yeah.
Is at the
And even the
Top.
career
yeah,
tab,
your
it's-
purpose is to find customers, not employee.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's at the
E-
top.
Even the news supposed to be at the bottom. You don't have
Is,
to be educate like. So the first motive of the website is apply here, supposed to be in the middle of the page, in the home page. Apply here, or it's supposed to be more highlighted. Like when you apply the loan, you don't have to go anywhere. It's supposed to be in the centralized.
yes,
Can I stop you guys after a minute from now?
yes. But just one that ADA point. Can I put that down if everyone agrees?
Yeah,
Go ahead. I
Sure.
don't know what
yes.
ADA is, but go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
they don't have
not ADA compliant.
The second point you had on the pros, or no, sorry, where it says, yeah, I think it's the second point, the list of outstanding. I think you need to
Okay,
cut
sorry.
and paste that onto cons.
Which one? Okay.
and they don't have a security feature.
Okay.
No security feature. And no feedback, like no feedback tab. Actually, they're supposed to have a tab on the
Yes,
page.
There is a complaint in the bottom if you see it.
Yeah, it's a
there is.
complaint, like you can complain it. You say,
They're expecting complaints more than a good positive feedback.
yeah,
yeah,
So they
that's true.
expect us to give a
That's why they
feedback,
don't have
like a
reviews.
review, and not a positive. I mean, I don't know. So when we're looking at a review, can it be positive or negative, or it has to be positive? And if there are complaints, then they categorize as a complaint.
yeah, they're supposed to have feedbacks.
So
That's what I agree on.
sorry to cut you off, guys, but for the mortgage industry, you don't have to complain here. You have to go complain to the authorities for them. And it goes in their database at NMLS.
See,
Yeah,
but if
a complaint tab is like, I don't think if you are complaining and they're not actually putting it online, like what we complaining, so there's no meaning of having a complaint tab. It's bullshit to me.
It's like the complaint box that they have in the front end of stores. They never
Can you
read
please add that
shit.
word complain?
They're just-
I'm sorry,
Can you please add that word complain?
no feedback or complaint feature.
Yep. Mhm.
Okay, so
Okay. I think we can stop here.
okay,
You guys feel comfortable to stop here right now?
Yeah.
yes.
Mhm.
Okay. So I was blushing while this discussion was going on, and for a few things, I was extremely happy with the way discussion happened, not with the outcome, but with the way discussion happened. And I have some feedback, but before I provide my feedback, I want to hear from you all. How do you guys feel? What did you guys do? Like, did you like this exercise? Like, how was the collaboration overall on the call?
Yes, when in the beginning, when you gave us to do this, we were actually, I bet we all were thinking where to start, right?
Mhm.
But then as soon we came on the screen and started typing and started discussing with each other, we're making it like more clear picture to what we're actually doing. It start giving us more clear picture. Okay, that's what he was looking at the site. This is what we have to pick. This is what we have to see. So it actually gives you, I think, more positive view of the project, I guess.
Okay. Right. Anyone else wants to share anything?
I don't know if it's right or wrong, but this is what was in my mind.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for sharing
I mean,
that.
Yeah, visually it always makes more sense when you get to see it. So
I mean,
Sounds
this
good.
website altogether has like a large font. Like it's supposed to have like a little classy font in terms of having a like a like a, if you're providing loans, it's supposed to be something less colorful, like and more like into a little bit classy.
So can you please write it down, Savneet? Font size.
The font size is too big, and with the search button, you have to have a space to enter what are you writing, instead of just you clicking the search button and then you find the
Okay. font size is too big. I understand that part. And the search button, what did you say? I'm not very clear with that.
So when you search something, you have to press the search, and then you have to enter the content. So instead of
Yes.
that, you have to have a search box next to the search.
It
Okay.
should be static, not dynamic, I
So,
guess.
okay, search bar should be static.
Yeah, that's the right thing. Yeah, thank you.
Should be. Thanks, Apple, for correcting us.
Can you
No,
please?
I'm just trying to implement jargon whenever I get a chance.
Yes, that's a great thing.
Can you please ping me this list in the chat? Google chat. I mean Zoom chat.
Okay. So I just paste it and copy it and paste it?
Yep.
Okay, got it.
Okay. Just Control A and Control C.
When you click on the top, you have view options. I think you'll see. Do you see chat now? Something there?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Did you get it?
Not yet. I don't know if. Did you send on Zoom chat?
Zoom, yeah.
I did not receive it yet.
Okay, I'll go back again.
Or if you want to put it on Teams, that's fine too. I have access to both right now, so not a problem. So, are you guys able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. And Savneet, if you can please send me that list.
Yeah.
Let me see if I see that on the chat now. I don't see that on the chat yet.
Okay.
You can email if you don't know.
It
should be available on chat, right? I don't know why it would not be used.
I did it twice, but yeah. Okay.
Is it on Teams? You send me on Teams or Zoom?
I send it.
Maybe my internet is not working. I did not receive any chat on either of them.
Yeah, but you're still talking on the video. Your internet's working.
Oh yeah, that's true. I don't know why would I not receive this in the chat. Yeah, I think in that case, please email me. I'm not sure. I think. Okay, guys. So I have a lot of feedback, and I have a lot of things to be happy about. Which one you want to hear first?
Bad news first.
Bad news first.
Agreement first. Agreement first.
Agreement. Okay. I think I usually like to provide good things first, like good feedback first, and then followed by the other one. So by the time I share good feedback, you are really excited about it. So let's share the good feedback first. So really happy with the contribution that you all did on the call. I think you all were thinking out really loud on what you thought was right and was not right. It was interesting to see that Hassan had an MLS ID, like he's an MLO right now, mortgage loan officer. So he had bring in a different perspective, which in reality, when you work in companies, you would have that perspective no matter what. Because as I said, right, you have to call people from every department when you're having a brainstorming session. So you will actually have mortgage loan officers in that session sharing their ideas on that. So it was interesting to get his opinion as well. And from that one perspective, right? So really happy about that. I think when we were putting things together in a document, I think Savneet was asking questions. Hey, is this really a con? Is this really a pro? Right? Like she was trying to find more information about that. So that attempt was good. That we were doing this due diligence before we put any point. But I have another feedback associated with that, which is on the other side of it. I like that part. I think in addition to that, I'm trying to recall our entire discussion. Good points, reviews, and I think that's on the good side. On the things that we can improve, first of all, this is, again, whenever one person is presenting, it does not mean that feedback is directed to that one person. Feedback is directed to everyone in the class, because we all are going to presenting things sooner or later in our future. So I feel personally, the way questions were asked, it made me feel that there was some uneasiness for someone else to bring their point of view or share their point of view. Was that right assumption? I saw there was some friction on the call where you guys were going back and forth.
Yes.
I think this was the first time we interacting directly with each other. So that might be too, because we don't know each other that.
That's completely fine. There is no need to be defensive. There is no need to be defensive. That's completely fine. I'm trying to jot down my points, and I'm not sure if I've still received the chat or email.
Maybe it's the topic is too generic for everyone. Like it's people have more thoughts, because it's not just a technical term. Like, you know, we're talking about something really in general.
Give me 1 minute, please. Sabri, did you send me that information? I'm not sure. I've not even received in my email, not in my chat, not in Teams.
Let me try it again then.
I think I wanted to look at that list so that I can give you specific feedback on each point. Or if you can share your screen, I'll just take a screenshot. Let me stop sharing. Can you share your screen? I'll just take a screenshot and go from there.
Sure. Do you see it?
Yes, and let me just take a screenshot of this. Give me 1 minute. Okay, that's fine. You can stop sharing now.
Sure.
I sent it.
What happened? So, okay, I have the screenshot in front of me now. I can give you a very specific feedback on each point, or at least try to be as specific as I can, so you understand the reasons behind that. So let me share my screen again. First of all, I did not feel that there was an environment created where people can share their opinions freely. As I said, the hardest thing for brainstorming session is to be extremely open-minded. Do you guys feel, each of you, not just a question to one person, right? Do you guys feel that each of you were open-minded about this discussion?
Yeah.
I don't.
We were trying to be.
I don't think so. You were trying to,
No.
but you were not open-minded. How can I tell that?
Yeah, there's too much critiquing.
How could I tell that? When someone says that, hey, their feedback has some issues, or there is a complaint issues, right? If you are getting defensive, or if you're counter arguing on that, you're not creating a safe environment, right? The moment someone opens their mouth and says something, there is another person waiting to put another point right after that. You're not creating a safe environment, right? When someone says that I have experienced this specific thing in based on my experience, because I'm a loan officer, I know how this thing works, you're not creating a safe environment, right? Because you're trying to, so these are the ways where you are stopping people to think out of the box. As I said, right, you do not have any limitation here. When you're going into the brainstorming session, you have to be extremely open-minded. So I'm glad that you admitted, some of you admitted that you were trying to be open-minded, you were not open-minded, right? That's the first feedback. Second, So on the feedback or complaint, there was an interesting argument. Argument was about, hey, when someone puts a complaint, it should go to NMLS. There is some corporate. I think Hassan said something about something about that. The feedback or complaint should be all routed to that place and not here. Well, it was a complete different conversation. Feedback, if we have a complaint portal here, definitely customers are going to put a feedback here. That is the reason we have feedback tool here for, right? If customers are more than welcome to put a feedback somewhere else if they want to. But if we have given them a feedback channel on our website, they have to give their feedback here if they want to. There is nothing that stops them. And we have to look at that feedback from a customer standpoint because we want to make sure we hear him or her, right? Am I right?
Yeah, that's why we have reviews, right? Google review.
Yes. So first of all, I think this entire discussion was not on the track. There was only a few things that I felt from this which we could use. Entire discussion was not on track. And you don't have to worry about this. It's fine. We are still trying to build our muscle. It's good that you guys are making these mistakes, so you won't make this again when you are presenting next time, right? So when you are watching an ad for a movie, do you feel they talk about what kind of if you're watching an ad for any movie, right? Are they going to talk about a specific type of cloth color or the type of outfit they wore, or they're going to talk about a specific car in that, or they're going to talk about specific scenario in like specific scenery, specific location in that? What would that ad have? Ad will have a story about why should you watch this movie, right? It's not because of someone is wearing fancy clothes. It's not because of someone is having a fancy car in that movie. It has a story why someone is using that fancy car, right? W4H. We did not use that concept here at all. First thing first, right? When you are going into this discussion, who are my users? Why are we doing this analysis? Why are we doing this analysis to understand why we are not getting more customers from this website, right? We never said there is a problem in the website. I'm trying to find out why we are not getting more customers from this website. That does not mean that there is a problem in this website. But when the moment you guys started things, you had a preconceived notion there is something wrong with the website. It could be the answer. It could be the answer. But let that answer come at the end. Let your brain think for a second before you jump to that conclusion. The moment you jump to the conclusion, you're stopping your thinking there. You're stopping innovation. This is the role of a product owner, right? We have to think beyond what we can assume on things. We do not have to conclude things that easily. Straight away, we concluded that there is something wrong in the website and something there is how we are. There are like 2,000 people coming on this site. How can we conclude what is working and what is not working? Right? There is no way we can do that. We have no facts here. Do we have any facts? We do not have any facts here. It's all our understanding and our speculation, correct? What looks good to one person may not look good to another person. So how could we define what is right and what is wrong here? So now you see the concept of this session, why it is so open-minded. And you guys need to understand the difference between the problem and solution. They are two very, very different animals. But when you start talking about it, often you mix them. It's not just with you, it's with me as well. Anybody in the world, it's a human psychology. We don't talk about problems, we talk about solutions. Can I give you an example on that? So, if your friend was stuck somewhere because his or her car broke down, right? And you give him a ride so that he is able to go to a place where he had to. Now, if someone asks you, hey, why did you come late? What would you say? Hey, my friend's car broke down. I had to drop him off, and that's why I got late. So now this sentence had two things. Problem is, car broke down. You dropped off, that's a solution. Am I right? So try to really distinguish between problem and solution. It's very important. If you do not distinguish between them, when you go into the brainstorming sessions, you will start giving solutions. This brainstorming session, so there are two different types of brainstorming sessions, or there could be multiple ways where you can arrange brainstorming sessions, right? This brainstorming session was specifically to understand good things and bad things about the website. It was not to say how we are going to solve these things, right? It was a very particular type of brainstorming session that I put you in. I said that we want to understand how things are, why things are not working, and why what things are not working and what things are working. We have to wear that lens from the user perspective. But the moment we go into the solution that, hey, we need to put the find a loan officer next to this button or next to this button, that's not brainstorming session anymore. You're going off the rail. I think someone mentioned about that, right? Find a loan officer button should be here and not there. That's a solution. Do you guys agree?
Yep.
So this is a skill. Again, it will take it takes lifetime sometimes to adopt this skill, like being open-minded and just listen in, not talk about things. One thing I noticed, Subnit, when someone was saying something, immediately after that you said something about ADA, which means that we are all so it's good that we all want to participate in the class, right? Participate in this group discussion. Each of us. I think I saw this from not just from you, I think from several other people in the class. But we need to take it easy. Easy as in let one person finish, let the topic complete. Once everyone comes to an agreement, move to the next topic. We cannot jump in and out from one topic to another topic. If the moment we do that, the essence of this meeting is going to get lost, right? We will not know. It takes the moment you switch topic from one topic to another topic, human mind consumes 25 minutes of energy. It's a human psychology. Okay, whether it's in IT, whether it's in your real world, whether it's in your family life. And the moment you switch from one topic to another topic, your brain takes about 25 minutes of your energy. So switching context is not a good idea when you have larger stakeholder group on the call. You have to be extremely focused, right? So first thing, when we started writing, we should have first written down what is the pros and what is the cons. I think people are struggling to understand whether we're writing pros or cons. Mm-hmm. So we should have said that, hey, we are talking about pros now, and then we're going to talk about the cons. Again, the moment you do that, you are trying to stop people think sometimes, right? So we could have said that, hey, this is the section for pros, this is the section for cons. Let me know what you want me to write. If whatever you think about, I can write those points right there and then. Because the essence is we don't want anyone to miss out on their thoughts. If that person has to wait, if he has not made a note, that point can very well get forgotten. Am I right?
Yes.
So the way you run brainstorming sessions is, it will take some time to understand how to run that. But and you may not be in a position where you to start driving brainstorming session from your day one. But there is a chance where you will be part of that discussion as one of the stakeholder, as a product owner. If you are, I want you to keep these things in mind. When one person is talking, have patience. Let him finish. If you do not get your chance to speak in the meeting, talk to the facilitator and tell him, hey, I do have few more thoughts. Do you want to send them in an email, or how do you want, or we want to schedule another meeting? But let's not get in rush. I have the same habit. I speak super fast. I have so many things in my throat when I'm talking to people. It just gets stuck here. If I don't get a chance, I feel uncomfortable. I feel annoyed, right? I'm trying to get over of that paranoid within myself from last 10 years. And I'm getting better at it every day. And each one of us has their weakness and strength. So another thing, I think in the cons, if you see positioning of the chat menu, no rates. This was a good one, no rate options, not an easy access on tools, not enough reviews, no account login. So see, just look back our same example of neighborhood. When you had $500 million, and if you had to build a society, did you really talk about what that house wall should look like? What kind of windows we need to use? What was the discussion about? What kind of neighborhood we are going to have, right? What kind of people are going to stay in this neighborhood? What kind of houses they would need? So it's one level up than what you guys are discussing right now. As a user, when you come to this site, you're coming from Google, right? So there could be only few reasons you're coming to this site for. You want to either explore what is Academy Mortgage, or you want to find out what is the rate offered by Academy Mortgage, or you want to really apply with Academy Mortgage. Correct? Only 3 things you can do. So start simple. Start with basics. It's a user journey. User journey, you will not believe me. It's really hard to think simple. And it's very easy to think smart in a lot of times. Right? What we did here, we started thinking really smart on how to solve the problem. But the discussion was the other way around. We had to think simple on why there is a problem, or is there a problem first? Let's first confirm that. So the 3 basic questions here, 3 basic questions were, can someone remind me what were the 3 questions? What are 3 basic questions? So we had why user wants to explore Academy Mortgage. User wants to find out the rates offered by Academy Mortgage. User wants to apply for Academy Mortgage. Or that could be few more reasons. Okay, that could be few more reasons. It's completely fine. So putting this lens as a user, when you want to explore Academy Mortgage and when you come to their website, what are the good things you liked and what are the bad things you felt on that website? And we don't have to go into this level of details, guys. You can just keep it extremely simple, right? All you have to say is that website has some good resources as it provides tools. What is that? List of outstanding services visible, various kind of loans, providing current news, provide us with the chat feature, home buyers video, which help the user to learn about the product.
Home buyer education.
As it provides resources, as it provides tools, chat, and instructional videos to make a first-time homeowner, I'm saying first-time homeowner, familiar with the mortgage industry or process, right? This is one simple good thing that you had on the website. What's next? So another one was various kind of loans. Site offers various type of loans. Now, cons were too many here. I'm saying cons right now based on our understanding, but we have to verify these cons with data. So cons would be, in a simple term, it could be because website, online portal, I'm saying portal, not website, online portal shows has scattered information throughout the site and online portal is not able to earn users' trust when they land on this site. So what do I mean by trust here? Trust is that there is no reviews, there is no complaint. Sorry?
Sorry to cut you off. Did you get my on the chat?
Yeah,
I had to sign off for a second.
That's fine.
Okay.
So online portal is not able to earn users' trust when they land on this site. What do I mean by trust here? They could be not having a security feature. They could not be having the more reviews on it. There could be no complaint log there.
And the sign up login feature.
Yeah, so no easy access to online rates or login option, right? So see, these are the pain points. I'm keeping it really, really simple. Did you see anything here that talks about the solution? These are real challenges, right? Real challenges. We want to talk in terms of real challenges. Once we put down this list of challenges, we are going to prioritize them. So our goal is to let everyone speak, share their thoughts. If we feel that someone has said something which is not a problem but a solution, or which may not fit in here, we need to, the way I would approach this if I'm in a meeting is, right, hey, let's jot down everything. Hey, I do have a question here, but I think we'll discuss about this when time comes. Let me just jot this down for now and let's move forward. Right? So you're still creating that safe environment, but you're acknowledging it that you are having some questions there, which you can discuss after that. Make sense? It's just a way of, so if you guys see, whenever I started writing the pros and cons for Agile and Waterfall, I'd made sure to give you guys your space and let you speak every single thing, right? I was not arguing that why did you say this and why did you not say this. And I think it happened on both the sides, whether you were typing or whether someone is sharing their input. I think it happened from both the sides. Like, it felt for a second that there was some kind of argument, or there was some kind of friction among your discussion. And I have a really high tolerance. I don't really mind these things if it happens in the office. But what I've seen, there are people who are super sensitive. The moment they feel that they're not being heard, they'll do the escalation. So hence I wanted to share this feedback in a good faith, that when you are in a meeting, let's make sure the other person is finishing his or her thought. Then you speak, and when you speak, you can always put it in a way, hey, I have a thought to share. Let me know if this is the right time or if I can wait. Right? Does this give you a good idea?
So in this section, we don't, talk about the target market.
We don't have to talk about target market so much right now, because we know that we are talking about these 2,000 users. So our next step from here, in our next class, what we're going to do is we're going to use this cons list that we have from here. We have to validate that against our competitors. We have to find out data that for our website, for our portal, how it is functioning right now. Based on that, we will be creating a business case. When I say business case in Agile, we don't need that, but just for my own understanding, before I go and talk to someone, I have to have those thoughts in my mind clear out. So we are going to do this business case in our next class and actually start writing user stories for this one. Okay, and I'll send you the list of assignment. This week's assignment would be.
I think we're still doing our DRD, and
yes,
because since they haven't shared the flow, user journey and flow diagram.
Yep.
I think we're gonna have to do it.
So what I'm requesting this time is, instead of having two groups, we'll just have one group, and whoever can join in that group, that's good. And let's just continue with the discussion of the BRD. Let's make sure that we are going into one more level of depth in the BRD from the slide that I sent you, right, the PowerPoint, and with the user journey and the process flow. You guys can still coordinate on the Teams channel, but let's focus on that. That's the assignment, because if you really understand that well, writing user stories will be a piece of a cake for you. There is a lot of analogy from Waterfall to Agile. I'll tell you how to use those shortcuts, how to think so simple for user stories, to write user stories in like 5 minutes as opposed to writing in 1 hour. I'll give you those tactics in next class. But writing BRD is must. At least understanding how to write that and what kind of information goes in would really help you write better user stories.
Are you doing the payment scenarios BRD as well? Or?
You guys, it's up to you guys. Decide it, whatever time you guys have available.
So are we doing it in teams, or like you said, one team? Not very clear.
You just have one team now. So instead of two different groups, you just have one group now. All of you can be part of that session, and you guys can work on it together for the user journey, process flow, and writing BRD together. You can have multiple sessions in a week if you want to.
Yeah, we don't mind joining all together.
Yeah.
I think I'm available today, like later this season.
So I think just please coordinate on the teams. I think Shazia, I think she said she may not be able to participate in these sessions. Nisha said that she's having something going on, so she would not be. Revant, I know you have a few things in parallel, but if you guys can participate. Go ahead, Shazia.
So sorry to interrupt you. Actually, I lost that email and I just found it, and I am on Teams right now.
Okay, you're on Teams now. Okay. So coordinate online. If you guys feel that you want to coordinate from today onwards, if you guys have some time, like just discuss the time and just decide on it. You guys can have as many sessions as you want. I've given you all the permissions. You guys can schedule your own meetings and be on the video calls if you have to, and start taking notes. That's completely fine. Right? But before we adjourn the call, just 1 second, Sandip. Can we just discuss, if you guys are trying to meet today, can I see how many of you are available and at what time? So that discussion can be shortened down and you guys can start discussing today evening whenever you are available.
I am available after anytime after 6.
Does that time work for anyone?
That's fine. I'm open.
If not, it's completely fine. You don't have to. You guys can decide your time. That's completely fine. It doesn't have to be this way.
I mean, they can decide whatever time. I'm after 6. I'm up for any time, like all day after 6.
Okay, so I think there is a way where you can record the sessions on Teams. When you start your meeting, there is an option to record the session. So I would request you guys to, if you are, again, you guys can take it up on the Teams and discuss among yourselves whatever suits everyone's calendar, just go with that. But if a person or two can't attend, you can always record the session for them so they can go back and listen to that. Okay, and that recording will be saved in real time in Teams. So you could use that information there.
Where are we recording this? Is it
in Teams?
Zoom?
In Microsoft Teams, there is an option. So if you go to Teams here, when you start a meeting here, let me just open and show it to you. I'll just say schedule meet now. So if you're in the meeting, you see these 3 dots here on the top. When you click on this, there is an option to start recording.
Okay.
When you click on that, it will automatically start it recording. The moment you leave the meeting and end the meeting, it will automatically record that entire meeting and put it in your chat.
Okay.
Okay. So you guys can do that, and I'll let you coordinate. I don't want to just a second. Let me leave from here. I don't want to set the rules for that working session. I think it's all on voluntary basis and based on everyone's availability and their interest. So I'll let you continue on that in Teams. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out.
Yeah, I think we should finish this before Thursday. So on Thursday, like while doing interview practice, you can also give us another exercise for Agile, maybe.
So in this week's interview would be the most 2 important questions. What is Agile? 3 actually. What is Agile? What is Waterfall? We already covered. And the BRD. So if you guys work on BRD, that will definitely be an interview question.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
So guys, please download Teams app on your phone if you have not, to stay connected with the team. And I am literally amazed with the conversation that you're having on the team. I'm loving that exercise. So go with that.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, guys. Sorry we went a little over. Looking forward to talk to you all on Thursday. Take care.
Okay. Bye.
Thursday, what time are we meeting?
8 p.m.
8 p.m. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Thank you.